my Mac. Do you ever use that?
Not anymore.
I'm sure yours probably. Oh, hi.
Oh, hello. We're here. I think it's working this time.
So hello, welcome to the Think Share. I might just go off and call it the Think Share now instead of Zach's, since hearing her, getting her feedback. So this is Cecile Bizet.
Yes.
And she is 17. She lives in Maine. She has 4,000 subscribers. I probably should have put in the notes that her channel, although I don't anticipate a ton of people watching this because I'm not nearly like her. She has 4,000 subscribers. How long have you been doing it for now?
Oh God. So it sounds less impressive when you know how long. I started, I think, in Christmas of 2012. So I've been doing it for like 4.5 years.
I mean, that was when I graduated college.
No, but like when you get the subscribers versus how much time I've been on YouTube, it's like only 1,000 a year, which a lot of people get a lot more. But no, I'm super excited to be here. I know Zach pretty well, at least like through association.
Yeah.
I know his brother-in-law. That's what you call it.
Piper.
Piper, or like Matt.
Yeah, Matt. he's changed his name.
Like really well. He's one of my best friends. I've done a couple collabs with him over on my channel. You should link to those because it'll be funny to see.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited.
So I have a bunch of questions to ask her that I've come up with as I was thinking about coming to visit her.
Yeah.
So
wait, I need to, one sec. Sorry, we're gonna like Instagram story this shit because
okay.
Then people will actually come. Do you have an Instagram?
I do.
Oh wait, I need to get that first. Sorry.
It's I'm trying to remember. I think it changed it recently.
Poor connection.
Oh no.
Oh no. What is it? Zach. Are you Zach with a K or
with an H? I think it's Millennial Zach. I'm trying to remember. I changed it recently.
Millennial Zach. That's it. All right. Turn it around. Come on. So guys, I'm here with Zach, Millennial Zach, and right now we are doing a little interview type thing over on his YouTube channel, which is it linked in your Instagram? It should be. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, go check it out.
All right, so.
Wait, I need to add
a little interview type thing over on his YouTube channel, which is linked in your.
One sec.
Oh, okay. Are you doing a short video on there?
Behind the scenes of creating YouTube content. It's like you gotta hype it up, otherwise no one comes. With at Millennial Zach.
I'm learning so much just by watching her do these small things and as she creates things along the way here.
Woo! Maybe some people will come. We'll see. If not, then it'll just be all of us chilling.
That'd be awesome. All right, so
I'm super stoked.
My first question, what made you want to start a YouTube channel?
So I started back in 2012, as I said, and I was actually 12 years old at that time. So, I mean, honestly, I was just watching a lot of YouTube content with my time.
Yep.
Mostly kind of starting within like the beauty fashion like vlogger area. I actually started with my channel name being Cecile Bizet Beauty.
Yeah. Which
is still my URL because you can't change that.
Oh.
But my actual like name on YouTube is now just my name. But yeah, so I did that for a couple of years. I started doing some beauty stuff. My first video of all time was a Christmas haul, like what I got for Christmas video. Which I got a lot of. It's actually pretty well viewed. It has like over like 2,000 views or something.
Yeah,
but it's all like people.
I got lucky. My very first YouTube video was how to make a Starburst bracelet.
Oh my gosh.
And it has 55,000 views on it.
Holy shit! Yeah. That's amazing.
From like 2008.
That's so crazy. That's awesome.
A long time ago.
Yeah. So I got a lot of like hate comments because I like got like a. The reason I really started my channel then was because I got a MacBook Pro, so I had like iMovie and I could actually edit. So I've been planning for months. And I started my channel and it was terrible. Like looking back, like it was so bad. Like I used this. I don't know if you remember like the flip cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had like a little USB thing that came out, and I would like, I had a different bed in here at that point, but it had an actual bed frame on it, and I would put it on like the baseboard of it on top of a bunch of books.
Oh my
But
gosh.
every time I'd move in my bed, the camera would wobble.
Yeah.
So then of course, because I'm brilliant, to combat that, I put this like stability function on it.
Yeah.
So when you watch my old videos, the whole background is just kind of like a little warped and like really
do that before.
really weird. So not doing that again. But yeah, that's how I started, and I mean throughout the years it really transformed a lot into something else. I started, you know, obviously like within fashion and beauty, and then I still do a lot of fashion stuff because it's kind of like a place where my heart really lies still, but beauty not so much. I just kind of like wear the same makeup every day, and I don't really like, I could care less about the makeup I put on my face. It's just to like, you know,
I recently made a video. It'll be interesting. I don't know if you've seen it, but I challenged like the really like couple million subscriber YouTube channels that mostly do makeup. I challenged them to like not do a makeup tutorial, talk about what it's like to go makeupless for like a week or something, and like try to inspire young females mostly to try wearing less, because I feel like so often, I mean, the way my mom kind of raised me was, she said makeup was sort of to create a way for girls to make up for what they're not or something, just in the word makeup. And so I've been challenged in, because I can appreciate where some girls are really empowered to wear makeup and they enjoy it, and that some girls I think also fall in the trap of like, if I don't wear this, like I won't be accepted.
Yeah, and I think it goes many ways. I mean, lately I've been not wearing it that much, but I think I always explain it. I don't know, there's this big debate back and forth, like, should you wear it, should you not?
Yeah.
Are you a real feminist if you wear makeup? You know, like, all these things. And it's like, for me, to be honest, it's just like part of my daily routine. Like, I wake up, I put makeup on, and then I'm like, it creates this feeling of like, okay, I'm ready to face the day. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm dressed, I have a makeup on, like, it's time to go. And it's like, I do have days where I don't wear makeup and I'm fine. But usually it's like those days I find myself kind of like, you know, like cutting a couple corners, or like, you know, I'll do one less task before bed. I'll just kind of like start watching Netflix early, you know, like things like that. It's almost like allowing myself.
It's almost a part of your own integrity, like presentation or something.
Well, yeah, it's like I'm either on or I'm not, and it's like, so it gives me this like, it's like I'm cheating if I don't. It's weird.
Yeah, so like in the summer when I don't really have a schedule, I think when I try to wake up along with my wife, like I set my alarm across the room. If I get up and turn that on, like, or turn the alarm off, and like I'm up, and then I go do the rest of my morning routine, it's like the day has started, like this is gonna be a good day. And then there's some days where I'm lazy and I crawl back into bed with her.
Yeah.
And then those are, I think it's similar to you. It's like if that part of the morning isn't completed, then the rest of the day kind of follows in its path.
And it's kind of like the thing, it's like if you have a healthy breakfast, it's like the rest of your day you're gonna be healthy. And so, or like my trainer, he's always like, oh, like come in first thing in the morning, because then like the rest of your day, like it's in your mind and you're like, okay, well, I already worked out, like I need to continue taking care of myself. But
yeah, it's like you eat super healthy.
I give myself a lot of slack.
At the beginning of the day.
Yeah. Or the opposite. You're like, I've worked out. I'll just like eat a lot of chips. But it goes either way. I don't know. It's just interesting. Yeah.
All right. So, what had been some of the emotions that you've gone through as a YouTuber that has had the success that you've had, and along with the 4,000 subscribers? Because like I know
that has like caused that to be. Yeah.
So, and I think the reason I asked that question is I know that as I've struggled even just to get like 100 before, like naturally, by just making content and kind of hoping people will come towards me, I got frustrated to the point where I was like, I'm just gonna go kind of earn 100, even though it might not feel completely genuine. Like I'm going out there and commenting and inviting people to subscribe to me. And I think I'm doing it about the most legitimate way you can do it, with like a fairly straightforward request. And so like the frustration was kind of what caused me to do that, because I didn't.
Yeah.
And
so like, what causes you to take action?
Yeah. So like, what have been some of the excitements, emotions, like down on yourself things that you've gone through?
Yeah.
In these years.
Yeah, that's such a good question. It's such a good question. So I think the first thing I think about, which is more recent and not really digging back further, but I can dig back further later. But lately I've been balancing. I'm doing my own personal stuff, and then I'm also doing social media for my business. I own a like gelato and coffee shop, Gelato Rose. Check it out. Come to Maine, visit me.
I'll put it in the link.
And
wait, do you guys make your own gelato?
yeah.
Is it? Can you like buy it like not in person?
Not yet. Not yet, but sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to figure out like shipping and stuff. Like that would be a real issue because it's like really temperature
like dry ice or something.
Yeah, something like, I don't know. But I've been very motivated by truly representing myself. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I want to have not like a squeaky clean image, you know what I mean? But like I want to have a really professional image.
Yeah.
And I want it to be like, you know, if I have to do graphic design, I want it to be done well. I don't want it to be something that people are like, okay, like I could make that on like some old computer back in 2000. You know, it's like I want them to look at it and be like, wow, it looks like they hired a professional to do that.
Yeah.
And same with the video content. I like, you know, have a pretty professional camera, and I've really learned how to use it in ways that I can create professional, you know, looking content, or maybe even just I'll say professional content, just to put that out there. But it's terrifying to say.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. I think when I watch your channel, I think if I could have my interviews and my daily kind of talks show up in such an artistic way, I think I would be all set. And I know that I'm not striving for that right now because I'm still working to kind of get my feet underneath me. Mm-hmm. But I think the kind of quality that you produce is like what people should strive for.
Thank you. Because I'm just striving for other people. You know, like I watch a lot of creators. And so I look at their stuff and I'm like, what steps do I have to take to get there? So whether it be something small like creating a really awesome thumbnail for a video that's going to make it stand out and it's going to make it, you know, truly represent like who I am and what my standard is.
Yeah.
Then, you know, that's what I do. Or if it's something like, oh, like maybe I should spend 10 more minutes on this video. Sometimes more than 10, but I'll say 10. Like color grading it so that
turn into an hour.
Yeah, of course. You're like 10 more minutes. Oh no, 2 hours later.
Yeah.
2 hours later.
2 hours later.
I haven't even watched SpongeBob, but like people reference that so much. Anyways, but it's like that's what really keeps me going is like this striving towards 100% representing myself and my thoughts and just kind of who I am as a human being. And I think it's really hard to do that. It takes a lot of like work and like talent and like knowledge to do that because I don't know how to explain it. It's like I always have this like secret fantasy of like my life like being a movie. So like I listen to like strangely like cinematic music and I like make like this YouTube content and I like, you know, I try to keep my room like clean so it's like I'm always like not like presentable but like representing the parts of me that I want to be represented because in truth like half the time, not half the time, but a lot of the time in my mind I'm just kind of like, you know, vegging out, like watching YouTube content, like in bed, like kind of like like shaking because I'm so tired and like, you know, like I like work myself to like this nothingness, but then it's like, who am I like in my core and how do I represent that like creatively and artistically and, you know, through my content. It's really hard to explain, but it's about like representing myself truthfully.
So the original question I was asked was what are the emotions that you go through? So it sounds like
well, it's like it's like a fear of being misunderstood.
Yeah.
Or a fear of being like undervalued because like I know that it sounds so weird, but like I know that I have what it takes and I know that like mentally I have this like strong base to go off of. But like, you know, I've had it's been like a long time fear. You go into acts and everything, landmark, but I've always been like super mature for my age and like really kind of like I don't want to use the word like evolved, but I've kind of like just learned quicker than others and had a broader understanding of things sooner in life. And I feel like really, really lucky and you know, honored to have been given the opportunities to get to that point. But it's also frustrating because when I say things like, oh, like, yeah, I'm still in high school, or, oh, I'm 17, or, I mean, 17 even seems like a little bit older, but like 16, 15, 13, 12 when I started this.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, oh, she's just a kid, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was, like, this constant need to, like, prove myself and be like, actually, no, like, this is what I believe in, this is what I care about.
Yeah.
And it's almost like creating this quality so that I have the credibility, so that my ideas, when they are shared, are taken seriously.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I would say that the way that you create your videos, they are taken seriously. I mean, I look at like some of the YouTubers you showed me today, the quality of their content, the way they make their videos, the music in the background, like if there were no faces in it, I would think they were the same channel as yours.
That's like the most amazing compliment. I'll take it. Yeah.
That's really my experience.
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
I think on the flip side of that, it could sound like, oh, I'm just trying to like strive to have the perfect image. So I do that, and then I also have this other strange side of me, which is I think a really good thing that not everyone has, but it's this like overwhelming like need and stand for authenticity.
Yeah.
So I have all of that, and then it's like at the end of my video, you know, or in between, I'll be like, I mean, especially when I was daily vlogging, I was super honest with my audience about like, hey, I'm tired. Like, this is a lot of work, and like, I'm staying up all night making this content, and I'm tired. Or like, hey, I'm feeling a little like stressed out lately because I'm trying to balance, you know, school and YouTube and my new business and traveling and meeting new people. And like, I mean, I have all these project ideas and like, but I'm honest about that, and I share that, and I feature other people and their true authentic stories, and it's all to kind of get to this place of like overwhelming, like just kind of like acceptance. And like my large term scale stand is like I stand for world community. So it's like by taking each human to like their truest form and their like true core, you realize like, you know, like we're all the same.
Yeah.
Like we all have that. Like we all have
Yeah.
the same thoughts and the same insecurities, and like we try to make it so personal to ourselves when in truth it's like it's a global issue, or it's a global you know, stand. And so I think
we always think our thoughts are very specific to us, and they're individual, and they're our own thoughts, when in fact so many people are having very similar things all over the place.
Yeah. And so it's like I started this project, We Are Human, which I want to have you be part of at some point, but I'm kind of sitting down and speaking with just different humans about like their experience as a human.
Is that part of your podcast?
As part of my YouTube channel, actually.
Okay.
It's a YouTube project. I did it about a year ago. And
Is
I
it
was
a
doing
separate
it.
channel? Or
No,
playlist within?
it's a playlist within.
Okay.
So I did it about a year ago with some, you know, creative friends, and I did it more so as like, I don't know if you've seen the what's it called? Oh, the like screen. I don't know. Like Vanity Fair does this whole series where they have like these like really kind of like dramatic, like funny interviews that are like they cut out the voice of the interviewer, and they just have it be like a kind of commentary on whatever celebrities' lives, like themselves.
Huh.
It's hard to explain, but it was kind of in that format. It was just kind of them like, you know, commentating on their life and their struggles and how they got to where they are. And then I kind of
So it's videos of the things that they're doing, the content that they're producing out there.
Yeah.
But there's no audio on that, and then they're commentating about that.
No, it's an interview.
Yeah.
But I cut out my asking of the question.
Oh. Okay.
So it's just their answer
Right.
that I kind of tie together, and so it's like them telling their story.
Oh.
But I just cut out the questions.
That's cool.
So it was like that. But then and that's another thing about YouTube, is it's like people try to tell you like, oh, like stay in one niche, like, you know, you have to do this. If you start a series one way, you have to continue doing it that way within that format. And it's like, that just didn't work for me. It didn't feel authentic to me because I wasn't part of it. You know, it's like, it's my channel, it's under my name,
Right.
but it's like, it's just all these other people without any context. So I started, and it hasn't been uploaded yet, but it's coming.
Yeah.
I've started, you know, sitting down with individuals like this and just having a back and forth conversation. So asking the same questions, but having it be more in a place of discussion and conversation and relating, you know, together. So that's been really cool.
Awesome.
It's called We Are Human.
We are human.
We are human.
When is that going to drop?
Probably starting in August sometime. I still have a couple of vlogs to put out that I'm like a little behind on, but we're getting there. Oh, thank you.
All right. What are some everyday... So we met at Landmark, which is a personal and professional development company. I was assisting with a course, and she came in. I thought you were like 20-something when you came in, but she was there at age 16, I think. And so I think one of the things that we share in common is we're able to be... So like before, as I was on my way here, or as I was talking to her yesterday, talking about visiting today, I forget what, I just shared like some insecurity with you, which I think is one of the coolest things that I can share with a lot of other people that have done the forum, is you have that level of relatedness that you can share tough things that most people don't share. So I know that I use that every day, and what are some of the other everyday tools that you've gotten from Landmark that you use like all the time?
Oh, that's so interesting. For me, it's a lot of like the language tricks. So it's things like they talk about, you know, not using the word should.
Stop shitting on yourself.
Or on others, really.
And it's not that there's anything wrong with using should. It just kind of creates a box that you don't have to put yourself in.
Yeah. So, especially for others. I mean, I think I've noticed in language with others, because with myself, I'm really lucky because my mom did the Landmark Forum when she was 22. It like changed her life.
Yeah.
And so I grew up within the conversation. So as much as like I heard the word should directed towards me, I didn't really like apply it to myself.
Yeah.
which I'm really lucky. I'm really lucky, and that's what I really like to credit a lot of my you know, younger successes too. But with others, I'd noticed, you know, I was like, oh, you should do this, or like, oh, you should do that, and it's like. It's really kind of confining, like and it makes them feel like, oh, like this other person like has this idea of who I should be, and it's like maybe I am not that. I don't know. And so changing the word should to could really helps. Changing the word oh my god,
hand and butt.
Yes. And in butt.
That was how I became...
have a comment.
Oh, it's no again.
Oh my gosh, what gave you inspiration to start... Oh wait. Sorry dudes, you get to look at my hand. Oh god, it's like, I don't know how. You have to get it off of there. Cancel. We'll find it.
We'll be there in a second.
Anyway, so yeah, like can and butt, what was it? Yeah, so I...
Instead of saying but, you say and.
And. Sorry, and I can. Yeah, so you're like, I want to do this, but that. Like changing it to and, it changes everything. So things like that, and then also just like learning that everyone else is like just as insecure and afraid as I am in certain situations. You know?
Yeah.
Like you do this whole exercise where you realize just how afraid everyone is of each other.
Yeah.
And
close your eyes. Think about the person to your left and how much they're like you're scared of them, and then the person to your right, and then the whole room like you're scared of all of them, and then you can realize that they're afraid of you.
Yeah.
And like now, and you're the most scary person in the room for all of them, and then you just realize that everyone is actually afraid of prejudice from everyone.
Yeah.
Which makes things so much simpler to just go about like living your life
and
not
so
really afraid of judgment.
Yeah, from that place, I kind of made it like in some ways my mission to help others around me feel, you know, free to be and free to act and accepted and celebrated, and because I genuinely feel that. Like my whole life I've been so passionate about like other humans, and I've like like I just had like this intense love for like every single person, but like I was always too afraid to show it because it's like, you know, people say like, oh, that's like creepy or that's weird, like you don't know me, like blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, no, but I love you, like I don't need to know you, like I just love like the human in you. And so I've learned to start in like subtle ways sharing that, and really, you know, I hope I help people feel like love and appreciate it, because like I genuinely love and appreciate every person. So
it's awesome.
Yeah, that's the thing. I want to find the comment from from our Northern Ireland friend.
I figured you'd be able to see it in the comments on the video.
You have to go, wait, here. So what did you get from Landmark?
Teach Me Pro. Let's see, what did I get from Landmark? I think...
Or like, what did you continue? I mean, for me, it's like everything.
Definitely the language tricks, I think, have made a huge difference, because I can notice pretty quickly when I'm falling victim to my own words or like boxing myself in. So like one thing that I say to my students all the time, like they'll say, I'm tired. I said, well, what if you said like you didn't get a lot of sleep last night? That's a fact. You are tired. No, you're like this
feeling tired.
Yeah, like Cecile, you're not tired. You're Cecile. And there's a student the very first day of class at the beginning of last year. She said, I'm tired. So I introduced her to tired to the rest of the room instead of like saying her name. So I think using words to help us out instead of hurt us, I think is probably one of the most powerful ones. And I think also knowing, I mean, Disney taught us that we can do anything we put our mind to, I think, like dream big and stuff. But I think the practice, like the self-expression leadership program, I put together a tutoring service, putting together my software developers and giving free tutoring to like a local high school.
That's awesome.
Taking it from 0 to like actually we helped to like 15 kids, but realizing that you can do things like I wrote a book last year, and like now I'm just saying like I'm gonna make a music video, I'm gonna create a YouTube channel, like,
and like really amazing book, by the way. Like, can we just stop and appreciate? Like, just look at it. It's just like so pretty.
My wife designed that.
I want to put it. I'm gonna put it in like gelato, or it's just like on the table.
I can give you some books if you want to.
Oh my god, I will.
If you'd like to have them there.
We could also sell them there.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll sell your book. Yes. Oh my god. No, but
You just witnessed that.
You witnessed it. Now you have to all come and get gelato and coffee. Ideas over coffee. It's just
you guys have coffee there too?
Yes.
I knew you had gelato, but
we have gelato and like really amazing coffee.
Awesome.
So yeah. Anyways, no, I think it's so amazing what you're doing. Continue.
I'm trying to think of what else I've got out of Landmark that I continue every day. I think the mindfulness of it all. So what I think a lot of people get out of meditation is noticing that they are not their thoughts. They're like the observer of their thoughts, or like they're the space in which their thoughts occur. So being able to notice when thoughts are taking me over, or like noticing when noticing when I'm getting owned by my thoughts instead of owning them myself, and like taking control, that's a huge thing that I think I've trained my brain to think that way forever, and I don't know I'll ever use it, and I'm eternally thankful that I got to learn that.
That's amazing. That's so cool. So I think we should answer what's his name's question again?
Did you figure out how to find it?
Yeah, I did find it briefly, but then I lost it. There it is. So what gave you inspiration to start and continue with your YouTube after people kept calling you too young and things like that? Damn, that's like a really good question. I think, oh God, I want to answer honestly, not just like some gimmicky thing. Like, from that point, it's a really hard question.
Well,
what about
first off, you've probably started a revolution. As like when I search welcome to my channel looking for like brand new YouTubers, they're 12, they're 11, they're
I'll take all the credit for that. No, but I think it was always inherently in me. I've always been like slightly rebellious. Like I went to this like independent school when I was young, And they claim to be all these things. They claim to be like super holistic and really like valuing the child and like really creative. And that's, I mean, I believe in everything they said. But but actually being there, you know, like our art classes, we had to follow the teacher stroke for stroke. And if we messed up, we had to start over. And it was just so, like everything they did was just so against what they advertised to parents.
Yeah.
And it was like heartbreaking to me because I felt like I was the only one who saw it. I was like, I'm not experiencing this.
Yeah.
And you're advertising that. You're not giving what you're advertising. They weren't being authentic. Yeah. And so I think it's always been, so what I did was I just kind of like, I like spoke up and I was like super like, I was kind of like, they called me like a problem child. I was like a little insane.
You're the worst.
And I'm just the worst. And I, later in life, kind of, I mean, I from that point, I was actually like asked to leave the school because they were like,
really?
we don't think you're a good fit.
No
and because I was speaking out about what wasn't happening, you know, like, and I was telling them like, you're advertising this and it's not happening. And like, keep in mind,
how old is this?
I was in 4th grade.
Wow.
So how old is
10 years oldish.
Or actually, it was 3rd grade. I went up a grade, so I was like 9.
Wow.
And so I was speaking up, and I was like, you're not giving parents what they're paying for. And so, you know, after leaving, you know, there was like talk in the town. They're like, oh, Cecile's a problem child. Like, you know, like all of these like,
this is a
you know,
literally
hippie mamas. They're just kind of like, oh, like, yeah, I don't know. And so, but then, so I kind of made myself wrong for that. I was like, oh, like I'm rebelling. But then I realized, like, later in life, I'm like, no, I just stand up for what's right.
You're holding them accountable to their word.
Exactly. And so, I mean, that came up in many other realms. Like, whenever someone would ask me for a children's menu, like, do you want a kid's menu? I was like, who do you think I am? Yeah. I was like, I don't want to eat chicken fingers all the time. Like, I want real food. Like, yeah. And so I've always been, like, super, like, outspoken and rebellious in some ways. And so I think if anyone, you know, told me those things, I just fought even harder to prove them wrong. And that might be a big reason why my image is, you know, at the quality it is now, because unfortunately in this world now and our ever expanding media like consumption, you really, I mean, you don't have to, but it really helps to have really good quality to stand out and to prove yourself as a creator.
Yeah. And
so it's hard sometimes for people who, I mean, it's so saturated now that it's like, even if you're saying something amazing, it's like if people aren't clicking on it because they're really intrigued by the thumbnail or by the title or something, it's like it's not going to get seen, it's not going to get heard.
Yeah. And
so for me, it's like that motivation of proving them wrong and being heard and being seen. And
so it seems like the short version to the question is you used that as fuel to keep making it rather than listening to it and agreeing with it.
Oh no, I just got really angry.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
More stuff,
Exactly. I was like, you don't even know me. You don't get it. And so I just kept working to show who I was and what I stood for.
I hope that answers your
I know,
question.
that was like really long. I don't even know if he's still here. He's like, goodbye. Yeah.
Is it the little person and the one is that?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
we have got one human. But I'll share it a lot after.
So this is my next question. I'm going to piggyback off that is, given that we are in an ever-expanding social media part of the century, how do you think it's impacting youth these days, your age, my age, anywhere between 10 to 30? How is it impacting us, and how can we be using it to positively impact us? Because I think that I try to make my YouTube channel an opportunity for people to have discussions about things that they're really dealing with, instead of, posting happy selfies of me 100% of the time on Instagram, trying to show that I'm always happy. Instead, I'm talking about what I'm dealing with, trying to sort of bring out the human in myself.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a really amazing thing that, in many ways, I think is a product of Landmark. We realize that everyone is human, and therefore we want to prove that point over and over again.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I have a similar answer. It's mostly, I want, you know, within this world, for every single human, you know, real human, to be seen and to be heard and to be, you know, understood. And I think there's a lot of surface going on. There's a lot of, you know, like happy selfies and, you know,
Facebook is a perfect opportunity to look really good to a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think it creates as much. I mean, for me, I think I've been lucky because I've learned how to use social media in a way that is really authentic, and I'm genuinely like forming friendships on there.
Yeah.
But it's really easy to look at someone's profile and be like, oh, like they're just living this perfect life, and like mine is inadequate in comparison.
Yeah.
When in truth, like, we have so many of the same struggles, and like, I mean, it's just little things. Like, we wake up in the morning, like we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, like, usually I'm like so like pumped on life. I'm like really hyped. Like, I'm like ready to like go create something. But then I like go to sleep and I wake up and I'm just angry about everything. I'm like, I just, it takes me like an hour to like get out of that little funk and like get myself going, because like I wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do everything. Like, what's the point? And so it's like, it's for me, it's showcasing that human part of myself and talking about it and being open about it. And like we were talking earlier about the show Black Mirror, and there's like an episode on there where they get blackmailed and whatever, like we won't go into that, but I was thinking about it and I was like, you know, what could someone blackmail me with? And for me, it's like nothing. Like everything I share, like I own up to every part of my human.
Yeah.
And it's like I genuinely have nothing to hide. I mean, obviously, if like there's a murderer watching, I'd rather they don't know where I live. But like other than that, like I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I don't care what people know about me because I have nothing to hide. I'm not ashamed of any part of myself. So I think it's like I have a very young audience in many ways. Well, it spans a lot actually, but like I have a lot of older viewers now. But my core has always been like a younger audience, and I really want to make sure that they feel valued and understood, and you know, like they are adequate and powerful and ready to change the world, because they are.
Yeah. I think showing our perfect imperfections is the best way that we can
or
do
just
that.
Accepting your own imperfections empowers others to do the same.
Yeah. I think I used that word, perfect imperfections, because I was listening to the John Legend song with Lindsey Sterling.
Oh my gosh.
All of You.
All
of me loves all of you. All your curves and all your edges. All your perfect imperfections. Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect imperfections. And I think that was one of the things I learned at Landmark, is that the way they look at human beings is that all humans are perfect, whole, and complete the way they are.
Yeah.
Which is so challenging to consistently kind of believe in that. But if you can keep your brain at that, like that these people are perfect the way they are, then you can love them for the things that might
for everything
be
they
difficult.
are and everything they aren't.
Yeah. Let's see, next. What do you feel is missing most in the educational system today? And like, if you could offer one like mandatory course for freshmen in high school, or pick a grade, like what would you do? Like a regular semester course.
Can I put a mandatory amendment in there too?
Sure.
Okay, mandatory amendment, get rid of homework. Because it's like, you know, kids are in these institutions for, you know, 8 hours a day, and I think the last thing that they should be doing is going home and staying in that mindset. I think that they should explore. In some preface for why I'm asking her that question, so she technically dropped out of high school, but you're still dropped out of high school.
But you're still getting your high school diploma by taking college courses.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Correct. And I'm doing them online. I mean, the biggest reason I left high school was because I was given a lot of opportunities to travel, and I wanted to take them, and I asked my high school. And what better way to become a better human being than get cultured? Yeah, seriously. Traveling. Seriously, it's so important. And so I genuinely, I had the coolest principal ever. He was like open to whatever, but like legally they couldn't support me as a student if I wasn't there for a certain amount of days or whatever. Yeah. And so I asked, I was like, yo, like, can I do this? Can I still be here and maybe do some independent studies and still be able to travel? And they were like, no. So that was the real reason, was there wasn't enough flexibility.
Yeah.
But I started doing online college classes. One, I get college credit as well as high school credit, and also I get to travel while doing it. So that was the real. But for me, like homework, go back to homework, I don't know. I genuinely could go on forever. I feel like my answers in this whole thing have been really long, so I'll like be succinct. But I think there's nothing more important than fostering a child or like a human's, love for life and for adventure. And I think we have that when we're young, and it's so easy to lose that.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's also easy to get it back if you really try. But I think the public education system, by implementing things like homework and tests and grades, kind of reduces the human down to a number and down to, even a number of hours spent, working on things. And I think there's plenty of time, if done efficiently within the class period, to learn what needs to be learned. And then students, when they go home, they should be able to freely create and freely explore the world. And I mean, if they're in high school,
held down by
not be held down by I should be doing this. It's like they should be given enough space in a day where of free brain time to just create something for themselves. And I think. I used to go to, the reason I kind of am able to see this is because I went to independent school up until 8th grade, and we had no tests, grades, or homework. And I got to a point where I was so excited to learn that I started asking for homework to take home. I wanted to do more. I was like begging my teachers. I would go into the library and hang out with the head teacher, and they called me the essay queen because I had a crown and everything. It was great.
Wow.
But I would be begging for essay topics to write.
Really?
So she would give me a topic, and I would sit there like all lunch period, and I would write her an essay and like give it back to her. And I think by giving the human space to be and to act, they are able to become empowered and to create their own world around them.
So one of the things I tried to create in my classroom, which I started doing a lot more towards the end of the year, was do more project-based things.
Yeah.
So rather than having students, get graded on, so as a requirement of my current job, I have to give them grades.
Of course.
And I don't like tests, as I agree. I think that they can be limiting in terms of interpreting how much someone's learning. Because, even just anxiety can get in the way of testing.
Seriously. I'll talk about my driving test. I got my 4th try. But, I'm great at driving, but, I just kept messing up because I was anxious. Anyway, continue.
But I think that project-based is, you can try to have it centered around something more that you want. So we did a function project. So if you think about, the distance of something to another thing. So as time is getting closer, my hand's getting closer to the screen, so you can create a graph of the distance of my hand to the screen and time. And so I had them make a video of something they're doing, and this was as I was getting really excited about YouTube.
Video, yeah.
So and then the whole grade it ended up doing it is each team had a video, and then they had to make a function and then a PowerPoint on what the function was. So they could do pretty much anything. So some kids were running the bases and showing that it was the closest, it was going like that, and then back down. And then one was a basketball video where they were throwing something.
Were they measuring the?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So and then I made a video of my own with a student where he throws me an alley-oop, and we see how he's kind of running to the basketball hoop, and then he slows down, and then he throws a pass, and it's a quick spike, and then it's in the hoop, and then it bounces away from the hoop. So you see that the way that the function is. But either way, people, because it was a project, they're able to pursue a context of that subject in the way that they want.
Yeah, I think that's really smart. And I obviously I've taken a lot of classes, but I have a project actually right now, which I just got surprised with in the middle of summer, to finish up my statistics class. And she was like, yeah, I totally forgot to inform you of this, which is kind of whatever, but great. But she was like, and you can use data from your gelato shop that you're doing and just analyze
that's
that.
awesome.
So it's like, it's something that I'd already be doing.
Would she let you do it with your YouTube channel stats?
Oh, maybe.
That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, so, and I actually approached a teacher once because we had, I mean, I get it. I get his answer. Like, it was an English class, and, like, writing is an important part of English.
Yeah.
But I was like, my last thesis, as they call it, or whatever, you know, and before I left school, was in my English class, which was with Mr. Paul. Like, shout out to you. He's like the love of my life, and like teacher wise. I mean, like maybe also person wise, but he's like a really old man though. Anyways, but we had to, like, it was a pretty general, you know, assignment. It's just like we had to pick a debatable subject and focus on that. And mine was, surprise, surprise, homework in public schools, or in schools in general. And I did a, you know, survey of the whole school, got some really surprising answers actually. But I asked him, I was like, yo, like, I'm so passionate about this. I want to create like a full length documentary about it. Can I do that as my credit? And he said no. But I think, you know, allowing space for children to like do something within their own.
The Michael Moore film, Where to Invade Next?
I
think you'd appreciate
I've seen
that.
like clips of it.
He talks about homework in other countries and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Sweden. I don't know if
I
it's
saw
the
him
entire
exploring
country,
a couple. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think Finland is like
Finland, yeah.
Finland, yeah, they're really ahead in all of that.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I just think like leaving space for students to interpret and to explore things in a way that actually works for them and their brains and the way it works.
Yeah.
And the way their brains work. I think that can just be so much more liberating than saying this is the way it goes and this is how you do it, even if it doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
Because it just, I don't know, it belittles the human.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways.
Thanks for answering my question. It was a good answer.
Aw, thanks. I'll take it.
No, I'm assuming that's still you with us. Do you have any questions for us before I move on to my next one?
Or like we'll move on to the next one. He can.
Yeah, you can jump.
Then he has time. He's like madly typing.
We'll keep looking down.
We'll keep looking down.
Let's
We've
see.
been on for so long. This is fun though.
Yeah. Let's see. So this question came from a moment that I had the other night. So I was hanging out on the rooftop in South Boston. One of my friends was celebrating her friend's 30th birthday. And me and another guy were talking about the Bigger Pockets podcast, which is, they talk about real estate. They talk about... I've changed starting you too. Let's switch over this question. I'll come back to mine.
Yeah.
How did your life change after starting YouTube?
That's an amazing question.
Well, actually, my question will be a good piggyback off this one.
Okay, cool. So, I'm guessing it's for me. I want to know yours too.
All right, I'll ask it. So the quick story was, we're talking about a podcast, and we're talking about how you can build income so that you don't have to actively work. Like, you don't have to show up in a certain location 9 to 5. And these two girls are staying nearby. I was like, hey, what are you guys talking about? And I said, if you had to figure out a way to create passive income so that you didn't have to show up to work every day, how would you do it? And they're like, oh, you can't do that. And my head just, I figured all millennials thought a little bit like me. And so there was a moment where I was like, wow, I'm really having a tough time connecting with this person because their mindset's so much different than me. So my question for you was, have you found it challenging relating to people now that you've had a lot of these different experiences, and has that come from the success you've had with YouTube?
All right, so I'll answer his, and then yours, kind of like piggybacking. So my life has completely 360'd.
360 or 180?
Oh.
360 is a full rotation.
No, but it is a full rotation. It's like a full rotation into a new one. Like into an alternate universe.
All right.
You know? It's like slightly spiraled. So like how would that formula be to go slightly out of it, like further on? Spiraling.
Well, you'd have to add a new dimension. So we're talking about, we're talking 2-dimensional would be like 360 degrees, but that would be elevating too. So I don't know, you wouldn't describe it in terms of...
I'm 360ing into a new dimension with the formula.
You're on a 360 degree spiral, I guess you could say.
That's what I'm on. I'm just like, it's still happening though.
Yeah.
I like that analogy.
Maybe a 720 spiral.
720
reinventing yourself.
Oh, does that mean it goes up, like, 720, what's that?
2 times 360.
Oh.
So you've gone... Well, I guess you've been on YouTube 5 years, so 5 times 360
I'm on an infinity spiral.
Infinite spiral.
Yeah.
Like what is named from The Fault in Our Stars. I'm on a roller coaster that only goes up.
Yes, that's what I'm on. So... Anyways, God, hanging out with a math teacher, my goodness. You're like 360. No, so it's changed a lot. I think I mean, very simply, this past year has been like the best year of my life. Through YouTube mostly, I mean, I left public education system. I started doing online college classes. I traveled to New York and then off to Mexico for a month and a half and made like the best friends I've ever made. And explored some of the most like amazing, beautiful places in the world. And then I went back to New York for New York Fashion Week and like attended events with like sitting next to Kim Kardashian and like Anna Wintour and met like Sarah Jessica Parker and Drew Barrymore and like wow. I mean like just like this unbelievable experience. And then off to Scotland to see my best friend in the whole entire world and explore, you know, where he lives with him. And then to Paris to again go to Fashion Week and just like I went to this like party with Kendall Jenner. Like, and I, not like with her, I didn't go with her, but you know, I went and she was there, and I ended up going like to the food table, like right as she was there, like accidentally, and I looked up and I was just like standing next to Kendall Jenner and we like just started talking and it was like really strange. So like, just like all of these crazy, insane things that like I could have never imagined happening, and they
because of YouTube?
All because of YouTube. All because of YouTube.
No,
and it's like
what had you go to? I mean, couldn't you have gone to those events without YouTube?
No.
So you were invited because
of YouTube. So I was invited as press. I mean, these are huge Fashion Week events. I don't know how I got in, to be honest, but like I'll take it.
So is it like they see vloggers out there exploring those kind of things, and you apply and say, "Hey, I got a channel. I'd love to."
Yeah. So I email hundreds and hundreds of PR agencies each Fashion Week and just say, hey, this is what I do, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, and I would love to represent, you know, well, not represent, I would love to, you know, show and create at your event, and show it to my audience and bring them along with me. So, then I get invited to these things, and it's kind of crazy.
Now, do you think I could, probably not with, obviously not with Fashion Week, but could I accomplish that even with just 100 subscribers? Or do you think it takes a certain amount on your resume for them to say yes to those things?
It goes many ways. I think I definitely don't have, I mean, 4,000 sounds like a lot, and it would be a lot in one room, but, you know, there's people with millions and millions and millions. So it's a balance of having the right, you know, image, having really high quality content and, you know, good thumbnails and stuff like that, which unfortunately matters. And having, you know, the numbers to back it up to an extent, at least something that they're like, okay, this isn't just some like, I don't know, person who just picked up a camera yesterday and now is deciding that they're, you know, ready to cover my event. And then 3, like, it's really about like selling and like believing in yourself.
When did you like, how many subscribers did you have, or how many videos had you made when you first started reaching out to people to do stuff like that?
Well, event stuff, probably like 2,000 or 3,000. But I started out like reaching out to brands like when I first started.
To promote their stuff?
Yeah. Well, because I don't know, I think it was like a slightly selfish thing. Like at that age, like at 12, 13, 14, like I had no money and I just like wanted stuff. Yeah. Like I just like wanted like beauty products and like all these things. So I would email brands and I'd be like, yeah, like I'll put it in my video if you send it to me. And they did at that time, actually. Really? Yeah, a lot of people did. I mean, not a lot, but like I would email like hundreds of people, not hundreds, maybe like dozens of people, and then I would get, say 5 responses back.
Wow.
And I mean, I had at one point, I had Neutrogena like send me stuff, which is like
Wow.
a giant brand. And so that was a really cool experience. But it's mostly just like, in some ways it's a balance between like when I was young, like just pure like naivety, like just not even knowing like I just didn't even know what the scale of the world was like, but
Yeah.
I just went and asked anyway.
It's perfect because like so many people would probably not take those actions because they're either afraid of rejection or it doesn't work like that. That's not possible.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was also like blind optimism. It was like, it was just like, oh yeah, of course they want to work with me, like.
Yeah.
But then as I'm getting older, it's more so like, I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to like swear on your channel, but it's more so of like a fuck it attitude. I'm like, whatever, like, what am I gonna lose by sending one email? Like, they're not gonna they're not gonna see me in 10 years, when I'm at the top of everything and be like, oh, like she sent me an email and she had only 4,000 subscribers. Like, like worst case scenario, they just say that you don't fit with them or they don't respond and you move on. It's like, it's not taking rejection or like failure too seriously, because in truth, it's like, everyone is looking for something and you may be that thing or you may not. So that was a really long-winded answer. Oh, now going into your thing, passive income, which is actually really related.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really fully at the point yet where I'm making a lot of passive income. I'm getting a lot of like passive experience. Except I'm actually really conscious of the experience. But I'm getting a lot of, people contacting me and being like, hey, like, I want you to attend this event, or I want you to, I don't know, like, there's just like all these like internet challenges going around, all this stuff. And so I've been given a lot of experiences, and it's only recently that brands have been reaching out to me and being like, hey, like, I'll pay you to do this. And
wow.
But it's happening. It's kind of starting like in the past couple months. And so, I mean, the goal is, I mean, I'm really into van life right now. So I'm going to
Jedi mind tricks.
Save up at least $15,000 by the end of the year. And I'm gonna buy a van and fix it all up and live in that and travel around and support myself off of making YouTube content and helping others with social media, and maybe working in the summer as a gelato rose for the first couple of years. But
wow,
that's the goal.
That's awesome. So we can all support. What can we do to support you in that?
You can come join me on my channel. I have another goal of reaching 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, which is kind of crazy and like some would say unrealistic, but like we'll make it happen.
Do you have a strategy for that?
Yeah.
Can you share that with us? Or is that something you probably don't want to talk about?
Well, it's not really a strat. No, I don't really have a strategy.
Okay. I
mean, my strategy is like uploading continuously and doing it right. Doing the right tags and doing the right thumbnails and making constant quality. Have I been fulfilling on that in the past month? Not so much, which is really sad for me because I like know I can do better, but it's happening, and I think it's hard because it's like a constant uphill battle. It's like, it's not like you like do one thing, like one video and you finish it and now like everyone's satisfied. It's like you do one video and you finish it, and it's like, okay, that'll hold you off for like the next couple of days or a week.
Yeah.
Now you have to do another one. You know, and it's like, so that's been the struggle lately just because I've been so incredibly busy, but I'm doing it slowly but surely.
Awesome. So Operation 10K.
Operation 10K.
December 31st, 2017.
Sure. Yeah, I'm confident. Woo!
So strategy is like one to two videos a week?
Yeah. Well, the goal is 3. The minimum is 1. Haven't uploaded in 2 weeks, but minimum is 1.
No, I think something that's definitely an important distinction between your and my what's the word? Content slash
style, format.
Bigger word than that. Philosophy, I would say, is that for me it's important to put out content if it's not perfect, and you are, I think you're more in the opposite, is like you don't want to put something that would not really represent your brand. Yeah.
Well, it's both.
I'm willing to put out a 2-minute uncut video that I say in, and you would be unwilling to do those kind of things.
unwilling is pushing it. Like, I'm kind of up for anything.
Okay.
But I've forced myself to kind of establish a standard that I want to achieve.
Yeah.
And I think, because by posting constant, high quality content, I'm not saying it's perfect. I mean, there's definitely gonna be moments, and like sometimes I'm editing and it's like, yeah, there's little things that are messed up, but like I'm just so fed up with this video, like I'm just gonna post it. Like, so I'm not saying that everything is perfect in the videos, but it's like I have to get it to a certain level where I'm like, okay, like I feel comfortable. Well, I don't know. I could share anything, but it's more so like I want, if a brand is gonna look at it, or if
something you'd be proud to share with.
I want it to be something I would be proud to share. I want it to be something that they could watch any of my videos and be like, yeah, that represents her. Like she's constant, and I feel confident that if I wanted to work with her, that she could deliver. So I guess it's just like, it's like a general standard, but I mean, I have my platforms for the more casual stuff too. So like I use Anchor, like broadcasts, which I've started making a little more formal, but
That's
I can still
podcast.
do whatever. Yes, my podcast. Anchor, it's a cool new app. Go check it out. There's like
it's an app?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize
You need
that.
to check it out. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's all new, and it's just started kind of I wouldn't say blowing up, but gaining a following, and I feel really honored to be like one of the first people on there. But,
so is it an app that's similar to the podcast app? Because podcast is an app.
Yeah. So, but can you make a podcast on the podcast app?
I don't know.
No, I don't think you can. So, yeah, people just upload audio files, so they make it all on some audio editor or something. But
it's kind of funny. I was thinking about making a similar app to that, which was, I wanted to, so I'm almost done my audiobook for Ideas Over Coffee. I was going to turn it into an app just so I could learn how to make an app and say I've done something and have it be consistent, which was, so it's 104 pretty separate ideas, and I was going to make, what you do is you log in the morning, because the idea of the book came from listening to Darren Hardy every day. He's the publisher of Success Magazine and The Compound Effect, which I loved. And every morning he does a daily mentoring session it's like a 3-minute video that I would watch and wake up to. And it would be the idea over coffee that would kind of inspire me to wake up and be awesome that day. And so I wanted people to be able to put in like a general tag, like I want to work on my financial life right now, I want to work on my relationships or something. And then one of the audio files comes up from the book that's specific to that area of your life. And then eventually like I can keep adding to them, and then eventually people can start adding to them. And they're just like 2-3 minute clips inspiring you about a certain part of life.
That's so, I love that.
Is it similar to
No,
Anchor?
not at all. So you should still do it.
Okay.
I don't know.
It sounds like the main
I
difference
should have
is
announced it on the live stream where you can't cut it out, but patent it before someone else does. No, but I think that's really smart. I think also you could do, people could, instead of buying the book, they could sign up or something, or I don't know, or buy.
Well, one of the things
where they could get it every single day, like in order.
Yeah, and the idea was that because it's the order of my book is fairly arbitrary, like it doesn't talk about. That was actually one of the things that stopped me for a long time for producing it. Is I tried categorizing like financial, relationships, career, habits, and what happened was I had huge sections and then I had really short sections. I was like, oh, I need more stuff in this area, and then I would just be like, but I don't know anything else in this area, and I don't want to listen to another book about it yet. And so I just stopped, and then a year came by, and then actually from my cousin Robbie's book, his table of contents says, there will be no structure to this book as there's no structure to a dream or a creative mind. And so
my God,
I decided
amazing.
to
I didn't take a picture of that. That's like...
I decided I totally needed to ditch structure, and then I was totally free to write.
That's amazing.
So
I love that.
So yeah, the idea is that they get a random chapter from the book, but it's catered to them.
Yeah.
That's the goal of it.
That's so cool.
I might do that next year, but I think actually I deleted the app that I was going to be using to make it because I need more space for video content.
Well, you could just buy another phone just to make that. Yeah. So, but Anchor, I don't need to go too much in detail because I'm not being paid to sponsor anything. But they call it Radio Reinvented, and anyone can sign up and have their own radio show / like podcast every single day, and it lasts 24 hours. So you can choose if it's a really high quality episode or day or whatever to export it as a podcast onto the major podcast apps. So like Apple Podcasts.
It almost sounds like I should, whenever I record my video, that I should just have something. Can you record straight through the Anchor app?
Yes. So that's exactly what you do. I can. Oh, where's my phone?
I should totally do that.
Oh, here it is. Okay, I'll show you it, and you guys can all go check it out as well.
No, I hope this is enjoyable for you. You're still the only one. Thank you for being such a loyal.
Yeah.
Oh,
seriously.
I keep looking down here. Camera's up here.
Camera's up here. Anyway, so you can open this up, and you can record some audio. Like, hello, my name is Cecile. Welcome to my Anchor broadcast. I'm here today with Zach.
Hello.
Hello. And then I would say more things, but I'll take that off. You can add backing music.
Oh.
My name is Cecile. Welcome to my Anchor broadcast. I'm here today with...
That sounds super professional.
Hello. Yeah.
So you add background music and then...
Yeah. My name is Cecile. Welcome to my Anchor broadcast. I'm here today with Zach.
Hello.
Hello. So like that. You can also... there's lots of other things. You can do a phone interview, so you can actually call someone through the app and do a phone interview. So I have some like ones saved on here. It's not gonna work.
So it's almost like it's like Snapchat meets podcasts.
So yeah, I describe it as podcasts meets like radio meets an Instagram story. Like, so you can also add in music. So it connects with Apple Music and Spotify. So say...
So you can use music for the
here,
background
I love
music?
Chet Faker right now. So put that in. And then I could like put one of his songs within my podcast.
Oh.
I also, they have like interludes, so you can put like... So like that. Then you have call-ins. So the public that's listening to your podcast can call in to your podcast. So
how do you time that?
This
I'm
one.
so glad you had that interview with the Instagram fashion blogger and to learn a little more about both of you.
So it's like strangers leaving you voicemails commenting on your content?
Yeah.
Hey Cecile, what's going on, kid? You know, I have to ask because it's really actually interesting to me.
Are there goals to be commentary questions that you'll answer in another video?
Yeah.
And not that I would tell everyone to obviously quit high school, but I completely agree with you on so many things you said too. And yes, it all just takes one step. And I also hated high school, and I managed to graduate, but it didn't mean that I do anything with it. I graduated probably the minimum GPA possible, and I'm absolutely loving life. I own my own business at 31 years old, and I work from home, and I create my own schedule, and I'm doing really well with it, and it's just awesome. But yes, it takes a step, it takes a risk, but it also takes work. I can't stand people that look for the easy way out, and people that look for
like stuff like that. And then you can also put clips of other people's broadcasts in. So you put it all in, and you create your own episode.
So do you do that daily?
I would like to. Right now I have a schedule, which also hasn't happened the past 2 weeks. I feel like I've been like dropping off the face of the social media world for the past 2 weeks. Because my gelato coffee shop has opened.
Yeah.
Shout out to that, Gelato Rose, again. Anyways, but yeah, so that's something I've been using a lot. My goal is to do it every single day, and I will be doing that by the end of the year.
What's your standard for quality in that?
So that one's a little bit lower. I always strive for big things. So I'm contacting, creators and just really interesting people and having, like, doing phone interviews with them. And my goal is to do that every single day.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a day where I just want to sit there and answer call-ins and just kind of hang out with people, I like to have it, be like, they have really cool, like, backing music. So I try to keep it, like, pretty chill and, like, in, like, the whole podcast vibe. But I don't take it too overly seriously. And it's a little bit easier because you're dealing with one less, like, layer of
content.
Yeah, so there's
no visual.
There's no visual, so I don't have to worry. Like, I can do it like first thing in the morning when I like, in my opinion, just like look like bleh. And I'm just like, I mean, like, I've gone on there and I'm like, yeah, my voice is like a little groggy right now, but like I want to talk to you guys, so hey. And like, it doesn't matter in my mind, so that really helps. I don't know, so
yeah.
that's one of my more casual areas of
broadcasting. I think I'm definitely gonna pick that up.
Oh, there's more. He said, oh, that's fine, you're really enjoyable. So cute. What was your favorite video you made or someone else made that really made you want to continue or made you feel good? Don't worry, you don't have to answer this straight away. So, oh god, that's so hard. My favorite video that I've made is my channel trailer, because it like represents everything as a whole. But like, that's just I mean, I think in many ways it does motivate me to keep going, because I want to be able to add more in, and I want to be able to, you know, my channel trailer really like represents like the crazy amazing parts of my life.
Yeah.
Which is not all of my life. Surprise, surprise. I had a comment a couple days ago being like, wow, your life is a big party. Do you do anything productive with your time? I was like...
Someone said that?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, yes, I just don't vlog it, you know? I mean, do you want to see me like sitting around for 5 hours working on statistics work and like with like some outdated videos from 2005? Because like I don't think that's the thing like you want to see, so I don't post it. So but yeah, so it's really like a highlight reel of everything, and it reminds me that like, I mean, in the moments that I'm not feeling it reminds me that I am adequate and I am doing awesome things and I am, you know, pushing the boundaries and doing something amazing. And you need that to keep going. You need to have, you know, faith and be proud of yourself, because otherwise there's like no point, you know? Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
What was something that you made that made you feel good? I would say for me, I think my probably proudest one, it's the first video that's broken 2,000 since I've started back up last year, was the haircut video I did with one of my... Did you see that one?
I saw the like video. I didn't get to watch it though.
I think it was I think it makes me feel most good and most proud of it, because it's one of the things I really feel like has separated me from a lot of other teachers out there, is I'm willing to put my own physical appearance on the line. So for those of you that are watching this in the future that haven't seen the video, I did a can drive. We had a school can drive for who could bring the most cans for right before Thanksgiving. And I said, whoever brings in the most cans in my class will get to give me a haircut. And at some point they're really slacking.
I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't bring any cans. No.
But at some point I was like, you guys are slacking. Like, someone brought in 10, someone brought in 5, and that's it. I said, I'm just going to earn my haircut back. Like, I'm just going to bring in 20 and then like take it back, and I'm going to win my own competition. And I brought in 20 the last day, and then another kid brought in 30 that day, and he gave me like this old man haircut, give me like just cutting off this whole part and like a line back there. So I feel like...
Did you fix it, or?
I mean, Alyssa shaved my head like 5 days later, and then I think I've had one haircut since then. It's just been growing back. But yeah, I think that's one that definitely inspires me to be a better teacher, like the teacher that I wish I had in school. And I'm trying to think of other... I mean, in general, her channel is what has me want to bring more artistic music, more artistic like shots and stuff when I do sort of a vlog type journal. Like when I was doing a recent one, it was our trip to Acadia National Park, and I realized, so I have a waterproof phone.
There.
I have a waterproof phone, and I thought it would be really cool to have that like watery kind of ambiance, or like looking like it's underwater and then coming out of the water. So like that was a shot I thought of, because I literally said like, what would Cecile do here? So it's as a whole channel, I think she pushes me, because I want to be like her when I'm making videos like that.
Thank you. And I think I have a similar thing too. Like, I watch a lot of YouTubers. Like, a lot. I mean, I so much that the last time I saw my grandmother, she was like, have you been staying up late watching YouTube again? I read an article that said that it's really bad for you and there's nothing constructive on YouTube and you're wasting all your time. And I was like, okay, well that appears to me as a judgment, and I feel hurt by that. And she was like, you know what? I think you're judging me by saying that. I'm like, oh, whatever. So we got into this whole thing. But, so I watch a lot of YouTube, moral of the story.
Yeah.
And that's what really drives me. You know, I can be having like one of those angry mornings that we were talking about.
Yeah.
And then I go and I watch like Fun for Louie, I watch you and Olsen, I watch a lot of van life people, my friend Eric Conover and Sarah Dici, and my really good friends Making It Happen vlog. They're like really great. And so watching them go out and explore the world and, you know, just make amazing things happen and work with amazing brands and just kind of live every day to the fullest, because a lot of them are daily vloggers, that really pushes me, because this mentality has changed. I used to, you know, within school and stuff, feel very stuck and very trapped and very angry about not living that life at that moment. And now I feel more so like, since I've gone out and traveled and lived for a little bit, I feel more so just motivated to get back to that. And more so like, I can't wait to get up and make a lot of money, you know, so that I can, you know, get my van and go travel and go explore, because that's what I know I want and what I know I deserve and what I know I'm going to do. And so I'm doing every single thing I can do to get there. And so that's not only YouTube, although it's actually pushed me being home, like it's pushed me to really think outside the box and come up with a lot of ideas that I can do at home. So those are all coming soon.
Yeah.
But
actually, I just thought of something that was appropriate. Is the question asked earlier was, how has your life changed from YouTube? And I think since trying to post daily, anything that I'm doing occurs as an opportunity to make a video.
Yeah.
So like, even when I'm just like doing something a little bit weird or funny, I think like, is there a simple way to record that doesn't totally interrupt what I'm doing right now, but that would be worthwhile for for a video later?
Do you need water?
I'll be right. And like when I'm having a really interesting thought or something I think is interesting to me, I think, oh, this could be a really great topic for today's post. So I think sort of like when you're a teacher, teaching math, like anything math related you do, you think to yourself, oh, I could totally talk about this in tomorrow's lesson. And when you're in high school, and when you're building anything out there, a lot of things that you do in your everyday life start occurring differently because your motivations are different. So I think for any YouTuber out there that's constantly making stuff, you're always thinking about new camera angles. You're thinking about new topics to talk about. You're thinking about what kind of background music is gonna play when I make this next clip. Like, you're thinking 5 steps ahead in your editing process. Like, I've realized when I'm talking into the camera, I just will have like 10 seconds pauses, because I know it's easier to edit out a pause because I can see the pause in the audio. But if I say that could be a content word, I'll have to listen to it as I'm editing to check to see if it's an but if it's a blank space, I know to get rid of it. Yeah,
that's smart. That's really smart. And I think, your whole life starts appearing differently, especially with daily. I mean, if you want to get into YouTube, like, and you actually have a fair amount of time on your hands, I would recommend looking into doing some sort of, really frequent content, such as daily vlogging or, ideas, and really pushing yourself to do that, because just taking, it's really hard to explain. It's like you almost have to like do it to understand it, but it forces you to realize like every single part of your life like is magic in its own way. And so it's like you have to think outside the box and figure out how you can highlight that magic and show that magic for those who are not, there to experience it. So I'm realizing like I live in one of the most beautiful places on earth. I mean, I literally live in a state they call vacation land. Like, people talk about it, all over the world, and they aspire to go and visit this state. And when I was a kid, I was like, are you crazy? Like, it's cold. Like, we just, like, there's so many trees. Like, what? Like there's nothing fun to do. Like, there's nothing to do after, 5 p.m. or sometimes on the weekends, 8 p.m. at night. And it's like, but then it's like I go and travel more, and I come back home and I look outside. I mean, literally, you guys are sitting in a window frame, so that's why I'm looking a little above you. But you look outside and you're like, holy shit! Like, I live in one of the most picturesque, like, beautiful places in the world. Like, I could make amazing content here. I just need to, like, think a little bit more and think outside the box. But he's been asking questions. Oh no, a new person. I have no Wi-Fi. How are you here? Says, hi, I saw you subscribe to my brother. My brother is JJ Boy Kicks. He's my little bro. I want to do vlogs.
You should do it. You should definitely do it.
Do it. Join us. Join the journey. It's a good time.
Yeah, and if anything, even if you start them and you don't finish, you don't keep it up for more than a week or a month. Just take it as a learning process.
Yeah. And that's another thing is it's like I'm a big proponent of like not taking shit down. Like just like own.
Yeah, just own your mistakes.
Own what you've done because I have a couple things that are privated. I'm not gonna lie. Like there's some really cringeworthy stuff or stuff that just like really didn't match with like what I wanted to represent on my channel when I was really young.
I think eventually once you've hit the stride where everyone knows like what they can expect from your channel, you should consider bringing those back into public so that they can appreciate how far you've come.
Well, I've left the most embarrassing ones up there. I've left like the moderate ones that are just like bad but like not that bad.
Yeah.
I took them down.
That makes sense.
But the really embarrassing ones, the ones that truly represent how terrible I was, I've left those up for some strange reason. So you guys can all go back and see the transformation. I'm like, it's so funny like seeing how much I've become like more so like a fully formed human being. Because like when I started, I mean, you work with 6th graders and like they're awesome, but it's like that slight awkward stage where you're just kind of like, it's like your limbs are like too long for your body, it's just like I mean figuratively and maybe literally, like it's just like you feel a little bit like off. You're trying to figure out like who you are and what you represent, and like and it's also like an age where the public starts going from seeing you as just like this child that doesn't know anything to like someone that's supposed to
do things.
Yeah, that's supposed to do things and have opinions and ideas, and it's like, wait, what? So
it says, I have no Wi-Fi is the name of, that's his name.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Just like learning from my mistakes. So.
How do I start my channel? That's just like learning from my mistakes. Yeah, exactly. That's really important. And I think, how do you start a channel? You just do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the question is, if you have an iPhone, you can start a channel. If you have a camera and internet access, you could probably start a channel. I mean, if
do you have internet access?
I mean that. Well, he has internet access. Cool. I don't know what that means. Maybe he says yep. So, I mean, I know some people that have gone out of their way to go to the library. Like, they have a camera with a card on it. They shoot on there, and then they go to the library and upload. I've never used YouTube as an editor.
Oh, I haven't either. People have done it before, though.
But yeah, so I mean, as long as you have internet access and something to capture video or even just pictures and some audio with, you can start a YouTube channel.
Yeah, anything's possible. Sorry, you have so many subs. He said, you have so many subs.
I do have Wi-Fi, by the way. That would make sense.
You have so many subs.
She has 4,000 subscribers.
Good times.
Yeah. Let's see.
4,000 beautiful, wonderful people.
How often do they comment a lot and you answer most of their stuff?
Some. I have a very moderately or low engagement audience.
Yeah, I think like 40% of my views come from subscribers or something.
Yeah. Unfortunately, actually, this is something you guys could learn from. I made a lot of mistakes in the past. I got a lot of subscribers, or not a lot, but like my first 1,000 or so from doing like a giveaway, like this one big epic giveaway.
Oh, really?
And Yeah.
Did
So
you
I
lose a lot of them after
I
that?
got a lot of subscribers really quickly, and then lost a lot of subscribers really quickly.
Oh.
And the ones that stayed just never watched really again. And so that was a big mistake I made. So I have, I mean, I wouldn't say fake subscribers, but I have a lot of subscribers that don't necessarily.
Active.
Yeah. And also, I mean, it could be seen as a bad thing, and in my eyes, it's just part of the evolution, but my content has changed a lot. I started with, like, beauty and fashion, and now I categorize myself as travel, fashion, lifestyle. I saw someone do travel, adventure, lifestyle, which, like, is kind of more my vibe.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm kind of open to whatever.
Everyone makes mistakes. Yes. No one is perfect.
Everyone
it's fine.
makes
Yes.
mistakes.
We're funny.
Everybody has those days.
Oh yeah.
Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everyone gets that way.
Let's
Sorry,
see.
shout out to Hannah Montana. Just had to get there. You're so funny. Where are you from? I have no Wi-Fi. I'm very curious.
One of my next questions while we wait for their response
Yes.
is so they say from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. So do you feel that with 4,000 subscribers you have a responsibility to, like, as in someone that influences people, do you feel a certain responsibility about that?
Yeah. I think, well, I have the very simple responsibility of, like, feeling pressure to upload. But that's kind of very much given by myself to myself. It's been interesting because I started in the beginning, you know, saying, like, oh, I'm never going to swear on this channel. I have a lot of young viewers, like, things like that. But then I got to a point where I wasn't being my authentic self because of that. You know, I got to a point where it's like, I think I have some opinions about, like, swearing, but, like, for me, it's like, it's just words. Like it's just, I don't know. And I think in many ways, like, you know, being too politically correct and, like, covering up, you know, opinions or words or, you know, things like that just to avoid offending anyone is, like, the most offensive thing possible. You know, it kind of, like, it, like, creates this whole shadow of inauthenticity and I don't know, just kind of trying to be something you're not. And so I've kind of stopped doing that, and I guess my
so it
only
sounds like
obligation.
you now feel the responsibility to be yourself and
and so I feel
politically correct necessarily.
exactly. So I feel the responsibility to truly represent myself and to be honest and to share how I'm feeling and share how my life is going and you know, share the struggles I'm having along with the big triumphs, because that's just kind of how life is, and if you can't share that, then, like, there's no point in celebrating the rest, I think, because it just kind of is very one-sided.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
I'm going to LA soon. I was hoping to start my vlogs in LA.
Oh my gosh,
What
you
is the
have
most difficult? Oh, go ahead.
you have to go to LA and do some vlogs. I want to see them all.
And
Send them to me.
They're from Maryland.
Yeah.
What has been the most difficult thing about starting or making your YouTube channel, such as keeping up a standard?
I think, I mean, I don't know. It has been difficult, but I think it's just been, like, finding the time and finding the energy and I mean, the energy, really. I've realized, like, as I've gotten older and wiser, that it's not that I don't have enough time, it's that I don't have enough energy.
I think one thing that if someone wants to do a daily vlog and upkeep a certain level of expectations for themselves is find a system that works for you. So I know for me, like, during the school year, the way I started was, like, I knew that it was going to be not the highest standard because I was going to sort of just speak while the camera was running in my car, and it was just what I was thinking about on the way to school and what I would do to try to improve my quality but not make a huge time commitment was I would hear myself talk, I'd listen to what I just said, and then redo it and try to cut off, like, 2 minutes with the same message. So, and then later on in the day, maybe add a couple items to it, like pictures or you know, talking about a book or something. So I still don't have super high standards for my channel, but I think finding a process, like a schedule for myself, like an average time of day that you might upload, or, like, you know, if in Cecile's case, I imagine that you have a good idea about, now I know most years are not similar, but, like, like if you're going to a concert, you probably have times when you say to yourself, all right, I should be prepared to, you know, record for at least 10 minutes in the next like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna bring my camera with me now, and then there might be hours you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna be in the moment. I'm not gonna do that.
It's so funny that you say that. I think like we're reading my mind. But
Yeah.
I find myself, I do a lot of concerts actually, surprisingly. I guess I just go to a lot of concerts and I like to, you know, bring the camera along. But I think it happens naturally in many ways, which is really, it's like, it's surprising when it happens because you're like, wait, like what? Like it's just happening and I'm not truly conscious of it, like once you get into the grind of daily vlogging or vlogging in general. So yeah, what I usually do is I film like the first verse and chorus of like my favorite songs, because that's what I really care about. I'm not gonna put in some song that I don't even know.
Yeah. My
favorite songs, and then the rest of it I like right after you should see, I'm like almost like jumping up and down, like ready to turn the camera off, because I know I'll appreciate it after, but in the moment I'm like, I just want to dance.
Yeah.
And I want to sing along, but you can hear my voice, so I sing along, so I can't sing along. And so it's like, so I do the first verse and chorus, and once that first chorus is done, I'm like, turn it off, and I just like go all out. I mean, like I'm like kind of crazy at concerts. And so yeah, so I think it's really interesting that you say that. It's like what I try to do, I mean, especially with daily vlogging and adventure vlogging, like I get all the shots I can, I do what I need to do, and then I go and like, you know, dive in full, like head first, because that way I'm not inhibited by the fact that like, oh, did I get the shot yet? Like, oh, is my camera gonna die? Like all these things. I can just kind of explore once you get the essentials.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like getting, you get the bulk of the video, you get the idea down, and then you can explore off of that and kind of create something else from it.
And I think one almost dangerous thing about being a YouTuber, which I think a lot of Snapchat addicts could relate to, is like someone made a comment this weekend because there are a lot of people there that like, if it's not on Snapchat, you might as well have not done it. Like that's kind of, I don't think they consciously realize that, but I think that some people have that mentality, like if I don't Snapchat this, people won't know I did it. And people aren't being in the moment. And so I think one scary part for me, and I think sometimes for maybe my wife, is that there's a concern I'm not appreciating what's in front of me because I'm too busy trying to videotize it, try to make it into cinema. So so that's one recommendation. I know that the question was like, how do you start, right? And so I think
and the big question and the big answer is just like start. Like you just like you have to it's so easy to think about it and to try to plan it and do all these things, but if you don't really just start, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, I would say.
And the best way to learn is just through doing it. And I think I learned the most I'd ever learned through the daily vlogging. Like I was carrying my camera around all day. It was always on me. I'm so surprised it didn't break fully, because like I have like a cracked screen, but that's it. And it's like, because I just carried around with me all the time. Like wait here, I have it right here. See, it's literally right next to my bed. I carry it around even now. But I would just like, I would just walk with this, like all of the time. Like my life, I just had it like this. Or I would have it like
next level
over my shoulder like that all the time. And I used to carry it. I used to carry it like this. So that way, and it would be on. Come on. So I'd carry it like this, just kind of like as I was walking around, kind of like, you know how like girls like hold their bags, they put their arm out?
Yeah.
I'd carry it like this, and then when I was ready, I would just like, I'm ready. So I was always ready. And so once it becomes second nature, it just becomes like an extension of yourself. You get the shot, and then it's like, it actually elevates whatever you were doing, because you can, once you edit together the whole vlog, it's like you can go back years ahead in time, and you're like, holy shit, like I feel like I'm reliving it again, because you get every single little moment, every single little just detail, and it's like, it's just like mind-blowing. Like I sometimes get stuck in this like black hole of watching my own videos, which people sometimes see as kind of weird, but I don't, because it's like, it's my own memories. I'm watching them back. It's amazing.
Yeah, I can see that for vlogs. I don't think I do that with mine, because they're not really cinematic in nature for the most part. Mine are all me talking.
But it could be. You could always.
But yeah, I definitely do that when they're like when they're the more artfully done ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah,
anyway, so
starting is making sure you have the basic technology and then you start.
Oh, did you read the last one?
No.
Well, first, I think swearing is fine, but young subs shouldn't repeat it, but you're just expressing yourself. Okay. Then he said, I subscribed, by the way, you guys should be presidents. You guys have so many opinions, and you're always sharing them. Then he said, you seem like you both have a lot in common and want to make a change in the world. My name is Jamal. My friends call me JJ. Do you guys have a better name?
Jamal.
I like JJ. I like that.
What are your like major interests, Jamal? Like if you are like if you're a YouTuber, like I'm sure you could come up with like a cool shift, or like if you're a basketball player, like I would say Jamal Jams, or I don't know. If you had an interest that
oh my gosh, he was a DJ, Jamal's Jams.
Yeah, like when I played basketball, I'm not much of an offensive player, but I'm really good at defense. So like I swat the ball a lot. I blocked a lot of people. If you hadn't noticed, I'm pretty tall. I'm 6'5", and so in college they used to call me Swatson because my last name's Watson.
Yeah.
It was like Swatson. So.
Oh, that's so good.
I think that's vlogs and kind of gaming. I like basketball. Jamal.
Jim Ball. That's so bad.
I don't know. I think there's nothing wrong with JJ.
I like JJ. I mean, I think
you shopping around for a new nickname?
Yeah.
Going shopping?
Have you seen the video Marcel the Shell?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's one line in one of the like 3 or 4 they do, and he's like, you know what I really want? And then the guy's like, what? He's like, a nickname. And he's like, because you can't give yourself a nickname.
I know.
I've done it before.
I've had 8th graders.
What is the weirdest nickname you've ever gotten in your life?
I can't say it out loud. Well, I guess it's a really inappropriate one, but let's see, weirdest. Actually, I half gave myself a nickname because people used to call me it all the time. But in the yearbook, like my high school yearbook, I stated that was my nickname. It was Waddy Dog. Like
I
Watson.
like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll just. I'm not gonna share that other one.
The one that I got, I mean, it's slightly offensive. Whatever, it's funny. So I used to, before I did my DNA test, I used to think, like, in my heritage and everything, I'm pretty much like half Mexican, half French. And Mexican isn't really like an ethnicity or whatever, but it's like a culture.
Yeah.
And so I used to like, I don't know why I would share it in like middle school, but like everyone knew or something. And then like one of these boys started calling me Baguette Martinez. So that was the weirdest nickname.
Baguette Martinez.
Yeah, and it stuck. Like they just kept calling me Baguette Martinez, and I was like genuinely uncomfortable all the time. But of course I thought it was like really funny, and I was like, boys are like picking on me. Anyways, yes, I'm shopping, but unfortunately I can't shop online because I got no Wi-Fi.
I was thinking JJ
Swish.
Yeah,
that's something that's.
I can appreciate wanting to be called something different. I think people have a tendency to give you nicknames based on things that you don't like, but like in that case, or like in my case, and I don't know, sometimes it takes like a lot of showing off sometimes to receive a nickname, but then again, I feel like nicknames really come from people that decide like, you should be known as this because this is what we can expect from you. Mm-hmm. Nicknames are interesting.
Nicknames are interesting.
You can try to push
I don't have much
them.
like, I'm not too tied to like having a nickname, but people, I have a lot of them now that I think of it.
Yeah.
But they're more so just like differentiations like of my name, differentiations, alternates of my name or whatever. Like I am missing the word.
Cece.
Yeah, well, like Cece, and then people call me like Seal, or they call me Cease, or they call me I don't know, Cecile. That just gets to them like messing up my name over and over again.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right, ready for the next question?
Back to work.
So we all know that you're going to make a huge difference in your lifetime. And so I know you kind of said this earlier, is that you wanted to bring community to the whole world. So almost like a counter question to that is, have you ever heard The Tipping Point from Malcolm Gladwell?
Yeah. Well, I haven't, like, it's a book, right?
Yeah.
I haven't read it.
So he pretty much, one of the things I gathered from it is that sometimes you can have too big of a group of people that it's almost unmanageable to try to create a culture within them. Mm-hmm. And he actually says, like, a lot of times, I'm totally butchering the idea here, but when humans were coming to exist in smaller communities, it was about till they hit like 150 people that they would start branching into 2 separate communities that would have their own cultures. So I imagine it'll be challenging to create a community for like millions of people. So when you say you want to create a community among the world, can you define that a little bit more specifically?
Yeah, so what's really important for me is creating, just this overwhelming acceptance and, celebration in the world. So it's not necessarily like, oh, you guys have to have the same opinions and the same, way of acting and dressing and all these things, but it's more so about like sharing what we each have, kind of instinctively as humans, which is like love and camaraderie. And I mean, we look at our purest form, we look at each other in the eyes and we're like, damn, like this person is super cool.
Yeah.
And I think we shut that off and we kind of roboticize or whatever,
become robots.
Yeah, we make everything, like you have to do this and then this and then this and then this, and I think it's like in expanding consciousness and allowing people to love each other, I think like we can all like come together and move past any differences. Like we don't have to erase them, we just move past them and we just accept them for what they are and what they aren't. And I think it's just about like fully and completely accepting each other, and it starts one person at a time. Yeah. So it's not about being, it's actually about being very different people. It's about having different cultures, but it's about accepting everyone else around us as well.
So what kind of strategy are you making to make that difference?
I think it really starts, I mean, I don't know, like Gandhi said, all the people have said, it's like you have to transform yourself before you transform the world. And it's, I really am working to be the most honest, authentic form of myself, and to own up to my mistakes, and to, hold myself accountable, and to really, be a person and create atmospheres in which people are free to be and free to act, and, really just, supporting one person at a time. And I think my smaller scale right now is with the gelato shop. I mean, gelato is really just like the like, what's the word? The carrier or whatever. Like it's just kind of vehicle, thank you. For creating that space, and beyond that, it's like a space for art and for music and for, we have this big long like communal table, and it's about just like, coming together and doing and being anything that we want to be. And so there's that on a smaller scale. And then on the bigger scale, like with YouTube, it's about showing up and being like, yo, this is who I am, who are you? You know? And it's like, it's that simple. It's just like showing up and being myself, and kind of helping to transform one person at a time.
Awesome. Yeah.
World community, yo.
You guys are literally my idols now.
I'll take it.
Thank you, I have no Wi-Fi. Or Jamal.
You guys are very wise. What kind of camera do you use?
Right now,
I like it. Down to the important questions.
Right now, we're using an iPhone 7, and the camera she showed us is a Canon.
This is like proof that you can do good shit with like old material. This is the Canon Rebel T3i, and that's like a camera from, I think, 2009, 10, maybe 12. And what I did is I got this amazing lens on it, which is actually the cheaper version of the Canon 10 to 18 millimeter lens. So that one, like, everyone picks it up and they're like, whoa, it looks so cinematic. But it's just the lens that makes it really good.
Oh, okay.
And then I have this Rode VideoMic Pro lens because I realized, like, audio is super important, especially for adventure vlogging. Like that's why I have this big thing on it, because
that's what the wind doesn't hit it, right?
The wind doesn't, as much, so I can go out near the ocean and be doing something in a really windy place and you can
hear
still
someone talking
hear my
or
voice.
something without just the wind being straight up.
But if you want to know all the information, I have it all linked in every single one of my videos, so you can go check it out.
Yeah.
He said cool. Good times.
One question I have for you actually around video making is, how do you, so one thing I've definitely had difficulties with is storage. Like, I have 128 gigs on my phone, but like one video can be up to a whole gig, like for 10 minutes of content or something.
Yeah.
How do you deal with all, because I imagine that's higher quality than what I have, and you're probably doing more total video and just cutting it up more. So how do you deal with storage space? Do you have any storage space issues?
I used to, more so I've kind of like figured out the hacks. It really helps to have, an external device out of my phone, because my phone is always full. Like, I feel like iPhones have a magical way of like filling up really easily. Yeah. And you can't get some stuff off of them. Anyways, but
what size is your card?
I have 32 gigabyte. I used to just carry around at 16. 8 is like really too little.
Yeah. 32 does the job?
32 does the job really, really well. I mean,
now, do you empty
like days and days of vlogs.
Oh, really? I was gonna say, do you like empty that every time you go to upload?
So I used to do that with the 16, just because that would be about 1 day's worth, or 2 days, depending on how much I was filming, or in what resolution. But yeah, I carried the 16 because I lose memory cards like there's no tomorrow. Like, I just like, I like, they just apparently, and I like break them too, like, I don't know, like memory cards I just don't have good luck with. But whatever, you have to have them. Yeah. It's like necessary evil.
They're still getting cheaper, right?
I guess so, maybe. Are they? I don't know.
I mean, they should be. I mean, I think it was like back in, I know this is dating me, but 2001 or 2 was the first time I got a digital camera, and it was a big deal. I think it was like 20, 30, $40 for 32 megabytes.
Holy shit.
Yeah. 1 gig was like, mind blown. 1 gig card, are you kidding me? And like, and that was probably like $100 back then for 1 gigabyte.
Wow.
So now I know that's 17, 16 years ago, but.
Well, yeah, at least they're getting cheaper.
Yeah.
That's good. So I use that.
Do you use an external hard drive?
Yeah. So what I do is use iMovie as well. I've stopped, actually, you might want to take this advice, uploading straight into iMovie because I kept having issues where sometimes, like, I would go back to check after I deleted off my card, and the whole day would be, like, missing stuff. Yeah, like, it says, camera, I forgot what it was.
Do you upload it on your computer, put it onto your external hard drive, and then make the iMovie through an external hard drive iMovie library? Yeah,
so I either do that. That's what I did for my channel trailer because I had all the content on my external hard drive. Yep. What I usually do is I just upload it on my computer, so I have it. I have one folder of like current content, just because I have enough room on my computer just to have that, and then I just take that and put that onto iMovie. And then what I do is once I'm done with all of the content, I'll put it back onto my external hard drive, and I'll delete it all from iMovie. lately I've stopped actually keeping the raw footage of everything, which I don't know if is a good thing, but I just keep, I've what's it called? Imported back the videos off of YouTube. So I have the completed version. I just keep that. So pretty much like twice a year or once a year, I'll go through and I'll download all of my videos off of YouTube, and I'll delete all the content up from there. Because you have to be, like, it's really nice to keep your videos, but it's also, like, for me, it's like I'm creating so much content all the time.
Same, yeah.
I'm not gonna get to be, like, 35 and be like, you know, I really want to see the raw version of this one clip and this one vlog from this 1 year. And, you know, it's like, I'm really not going to care that much. I'm just going to want to see the entire image. So I can get that from
and
vlogs.
you put all the work into the video. It's rare that your finished products are so good that the raw footage is just not nearly as useful as watching the whole production.
Oh, thank you. I'll take it.
Welcome.
There's so many, like, genuine compliments. I'm, like, not good at taking them.
Sure you are.
Hey, Mr. Watson.
No, hey, Jermaine.
Is he one of your students?
Yeah. He was this past year.
You are so lucky. He is the coolest.
Most of his class might not agree with that.
Really?
Yeah, we had a challenging year this year.
Oh.
It was well, I had a challenge with keeping the volume down in our class as a whole on a day-to-day basis, such that when MCAS is our state test, like the teacher in the other room would sometimes come in and be like, hey, we're testing over here, and I would be really embarrassed because I'm like, it's like sometimes I would get so used to the high volume in our class that I would forget that we're way louder than like most other classrooms. Like I've gone semi-tone deaf. Yeah, Jermaine was absolutely one of my leaders in the class. He did a speech for graduation for the grade this year.
Aww, what's up, Jermaine?
Jermaine, you excited for high school, dude? And do you have any questions for Cecile?
We're just chilling.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Like, I don't know, maybe I should, I don't know. I don't want to do it now, but maybe at some point I should do teaching stuff. I'm really passionate about that. Because I
feel like
love
you'd be good for like
children.
a Montessori school.
Or like
I'll
your start my own school.
Yeah. Because I've had ideas about making my
But
own
I should
school.
probably be like a teacher somewhere else before. But we don't need that.
Have people ever made it fun for you for YouTube that you really got angry in?
And how did you treat or react to it?
Oh, have they made
yeah,
fun of
I'm
you?
really excited and kind of nervous. Don't be nervous, because guess what? Everyone is just as nervous and terrified as you are. And once you realize that, it's like you look around and you're just like, whoa, like everyone else doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And therefore, I'm normal.
Yeah, Jermaine, you know what you're doing more than most people do for the most part. I think as long as you stay kind of true to your ethics, like you decide like just because you want to impress some people and you know they offer you to do something that you wouldn't normally do, try to stick to those things. As long as, I mean, some people have really strong ethics. I know that in my past I've definitely been malleable. Like I've done things
I definitely am.
Because I was interested in making a friend more than I was concerned about making sure to keep my own personal integrity and my own ethics or morals. I mean, I don't think I did anything super regrettable, but you can definitely be on the lookout for that. But that's the only thing to be nervous about maybe is whether you'll say yes or no to those opportunities, and it's debatable whether they're opportunities or not. And Noah, your question, which is a separate one, I think the main negativity I've received on my channel is like students trolling me. Like they've just been like, this channel's offensive, we're gonna shut you down. I'm like, all right, which one of you guys did it? Like I'll go into school the next day and say that. But yeah, I don't think I've received any overwhelming hate. The most I've received is on the video where I talked about having a gay pride flag in my classroom. A couple people had made some comments like, you're an idiot, you should effing quit, or like, you're stupid. and I sort of commented back, approaching them as diplomatic as I could, saying like, well, what about me makes you think I'm an idiot? Like, why do you think I should be fired?
Yeah.
And like taking it as a constructive criticism instead of as you know, something to be judged by. And I think it takes a certain level of confidence. I mean, there's definitely a part of me that's reacting. My heart's pounding the moment that I see it. But I think if you can take some of that hate and say to yourself, you know, I think I'm gonna go on a little sparring match, like a pleasant little jab session, and see what this person thinks, and you know, maybe even make it a goal to have them voice an opinion that maybe they've never voiced before.
Yeah.
Because like I think some people, like at one point when I was trying to bring more traffic to my site, I was looking, because I had just come out with the gay pride flag video. I was looking at trending videos that had something to do with LGBTQ, and I was going through the comments just looking for sort of similar minded people, and found so much hate out there. Like I couldn't even believe it. And
yeah, it's really hard, because I think we both have grown up in pretty like liberal areas, and I mean, I don't know much about your background, but like where I live in Maine, it's super liberal, and so when I see things like that, I'm like, what? Whoa, I didn't even know that was there.
Stuff still exists.
I know.
And so I think when I was going through those things, I think so many people are just leaving comments because it's simple to leave comments. So I do my best to challenge their thinking, challenge the level of like the amount of brain power they're actually using in their comments, because I think it's really easy to say this sucks, or I'm disgusted, or this is gross. It's much more challenging to, you know, and I think people at some point, when there's a couple thousand comments on there, they're not aiming to say something all that intelligent. But whenever I'm faced with hate, especially on my YouTube channel, I really try to approach it with, let me dig more into this person. You know, who knows, maybe I'll totally inspire them. Maybe they'll see a different point of view that they didn't know existed. And that's usually my approach with hate. Yeah.
I think that's really honorable. I've gotten a lot, especially on Instagram, because I think I speak really candidly on YouTube, but I don't necessarily like title my vlogs anything too political. Not intentionally, just that, I don't know, it just hasn't happened that way. I probably would if I had the chance.
I've been thinking about doing more political challenging things just for more traffic a little bit.
But on 4th of July, I wrote this post, here, I'll read it to you, on Instagram, because I was having a really tough time. I have been traveling a lot this past year and really seen how a lot of other countries are run a lot more, even like democratically, and just with a lot more like love and intention than America is right now. And so I posted this. I said, wait for it, come on.
And her Instagram is
at Cecile Bizet.
Yeah, which is pretty much the hashtag that I put at the end of the title there.
So I said, it feels a little strange to be celebrating a country I don't feel quite as proud to live in anymore. However, today has reminded me just how important it is to come together and spread love, because love always trumps hate. And I deleted the comment because that was my response.
Yeah, sometimes you do that.
But I mean, there was this one woman who just started spamming me, like one comment after another, like saying like, you are a bigot for. I mean, I noticed I didn't say anything about politics. I said love trumps hate, but Trump is an actual word that you use within that situation.
As a verb,
So, and she started saying like, you are a bigot, like blah, 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 all these things, and I mean, our military is out here, which I understand, and it's just like all these things, and it was just like so not the point, you know. And it was just like so, and at that point, I mean, obviously I could have done what you do, and I could have gone in and been like, oh, like I explained my point, but this woman has commented on a lot more of my stuff, and it just got to the point where it's like, I don't need that energy as part of my comment section. So I was like, I just like released that energy. And it wasn't to exclude her, and it wasn't, I mean, if she wants to call me up and talk about it, I would love to, but it was more so because I didn't want to, you know, make others who may have been even more like discriminated within this presidency, you know, feel unwelcome within the comment section or anything like that. So kind of released that. I also had a comment lately that I told you about within this. I told all of you about. We've been talking for a while. Which was like, wow, your life is just such a big party. Like, would you do anything productive with your time or anything that will help others or help yourself or something like that? And I was like, actually, yes. And I named all the things I do with my time. Like, I have started a business. I travel the world, and I, you know, like, spread love, and I, you know, make others feel as if, I mean, I remind others, not make them feel that, because that appears to be fake, but like I remind others just how wonderful they are. And I, you know, I take college classes while I'm traveling and doing, I mean, I named all the things. I don't need to prove it to you guys, but and the person responded, they're like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah. So I think it's just really funny. It very much, I think a lot of those comments come from a place of like just like a lack of knowledge or understanding, whether it be to the person's life that you're talking to or to the problem or the situation. And I think it's just like when you have that in mind, that like anything that anyone talks about is just a product of their past experience or their upbringing or something like that, you realize that it's like it's not them as a human that's saying that. It's their past life that is saying that.
One of my friends, do you know Lauren Stern? No. Landmarks used to be on a staff member there.
I probably know her face. I don't know names.
Either way, I was talking with her recently, and I thought such a cool, and it's so one of the things I really learned at Landmark was how to take responsibility for like anything. Like to such an extreme, like I could even say I take responsibility for allowing Trump to be president because you know I was not taking full actions every day of the week to make sure that someone else was elected. Like one of the really cool things, and I don't try to actually state that I'm responsible for those kind of things, but
you're not like, just so you know, I am the reason.
One of the things that she said was, anytime you are upset, when you're experiencing problems over here, assume that you're upset with someone else doing something. So, you know, like moments when you're pissed off that someone commented a certain way, assume that you're pissed off because it's a mirror of yourself. The things you get the most mad about are usually because it's something that you see someone doing that you would be really mad, like that's something that you would do. So most of the upsets that occur in your life, you can just assume as a mirror. Whoa. So like when my wife is like, you know, she comes home hangry, she hasn't eaten all day, and there's just that little piece of upset. It's like I consider myself, well, like maybe it's because I'm self-conscious that I'm angry with her sometimes, and so I can always be looking for what mirror am I looking at myself that I'm actually getting upset about.
That's so interesting, because if you look at the way I handled those two comments, the first one, I didn't relate with that, I didn't feel that, and so I just let it go. Yeah. And I didn't get physically upset with it, I saw it and I let it go. And then the other one, like, oh, your life is just a big party, you don't do anything. I was actually I was not like overwhelmingly affected by it, but I did feel something from it, and I was like, because that's something that I think a lot of people have in their heads at all times. They're like, am I working hard enough? Am I doing enough? Especially, I grew up with a New Yorker for mother, so like, there's a lot of pressure to like, go. Yeah. And I'm really into zodiac signs, which like could be all fake, but whatever. I'm a Cancer, so I'm like really tied to home and like comfort. And I sometimes like shame myself for enjoying those things and for enjoying like the kind of lazy moments in life, because like that's like one of the things I very highly value in life, which is really funny. And so that was kind of like an inner, like it was like a mirror of an inner thing I have with myself. Like, am I working hard enough? Like, wow, like I just don't do anything productive with my time. But then you know, in recent years, I have proved myself over and over again, like, no, I am working hard. And so like my response to that was also like avoiding.
Yeah, so
That's
you
really
can always look for your biggest insecurities based on what you get upset about.
Another thing that
Yeah.
I've learned lately, oh my god, I'm so super excited. If you live your life like mindfully and intentionally, and you check in with yourself at every moment and say like, why am I really doing this? Like, what do I really need right now to take care of myself? Whether it be, you know, going off and doing some big project, or whether it be, you know, staying in bed and watching Netflix because you haven't slept or like relaxed in 3 months. You know, it's like if you're constantly like checking in with yourself and doing what really feels right, you won't have any regrets.
Yeah.
Like you'll be able to stand up for anything. I mean, not that you have to, but
right.
you won't feel insecure in anything that anyone tells you, because you're just like, you know what, actually, I was doing what was best for my person and for my project and from, you know, and so it's like, that's something I've learned lately. It's like, if you hold yourself accountable every single day, and if you, I mean, that goes beyond saying you need to do work over and over and over again, because I've learned lately how important it is to relax as well.
Yeah.
And if you hold yourself accountable in relaxing, like, then it's like, no matter what happens, it's like you are complete with yourself and your situation in your life.
Yeah.
That's just
Great
something I
advice,
learned.
yeah. Always check in.
How... Okay, wait, there's more. I'm nervous too. I'm going to art school in DC, and I'm so nervous, more nervous than you. I'm going to have 10 classes.
In a semester?
Holy shit.
Damn.
We should get him in touch with Piper.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to RISD. He can give you some help. How could people be angry at that? That video was the first I saw of yours, my favorite. It really showed me how teachers are really supposed to be.
Oh, with the pride flag?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as we all know, people certainly have their opinions about, you know, the LGBTQ flag in general, never mind in a classroom, so...
Oh my gosh, I love you just rip up the Planned Parenthood shirt, like, as we're talking about, like, the hard issues. I love it.
But yeah, I think people are always gonna think that's about the most political that I've gotten so far, or like the something.
Until now.
No, I've worn this sometime.
Good.
Most people, I don't think about what the words say, but this was a fundraiser. I did like it was a cycling class that they raised like a couple.
Well, it's like really
$1,000
brightly
for.
colored, so it's like the first thing.
I love wearing pink.
Same.
What was the other one say?
Oh, this one is a
Daily
really
routine.
good question. How has your daily routines changed since starting YouTube? I know this question is completely different from the rest. This is my favorite question I've ever been asked.
Oh yeah?
I ask this question to everyone. Like, everyone. Like, I was talking to this woman today that you saw when you walked in the house. I was, like, on the phone. And she was talking about, you know, and she was great. She was talking about all of her accomplishments and all the things she's done with her life and all the things she's planning to do and all, but, like, she was just talking about all the shit she does. And I was like, how? Like, how in your daily routine do you have time to do this stuff? Like, and then also, like, with me valuing, like, relaxation and comfort so much, I'm like, how do you have time to take care of yourself and, like, and, you know, relax or sleep? And she was a little, I mean, she didn't really fully answer the question, and it made me think, I'm like, is she really thinking about that? But she was like, yeah, there's times where I, like, don't shower, you know, and, like, but that's, like, so I've been super conscious of that, and it's like, that would not work for me. Like, I will never work myself to a point where I, like, don't take care of myself at all. I mean, the past couple of weeks I've only really stopped to shower and sleep, but yeah. This is my. I know. He's been dealing with, like, the worst habit. I don't know. Like, I just haven't had time to respond to text.
Is texting your main, like,
it's not
way of communicating with people?
You're not the only one, though. Look,
because I was thinking to myself the other day, I know some people like communicate through Snapchat, like that's their texting. Like,
oh, really?
That's how they communicate. And I was about to wonder. I wonder if she's like one of those people that's mostly Snapchat.
I haven't responded to anyone. Look, Nick.
20 messages.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like, it's not just.
You don't have messages. You have messages.
Yeah. Like, look, this guy texted me. I should respond to that. She texted me a lot.
How often do you catch up?
Well,
like once or twice a day?
I usually am right on it, but like the past couple of weeks, I've genuinely like.
Yeah, you've been working your face
I've
off.
been like using my hands to do things like.
Yeah. You can't
all
really
the
go
time.
back to and you can't go back to your cell phone once it's all sticky from July.
Well, it's that too, but it's also like, you know, a lot of times I'm like, you know, watching back a vlog and making sure it all flows together, or I'm, I don't know, waiting for my food to cook. And in those moments, you can respond to texts.
Yeah.
My life lately, I'm like mind blown. I didn't know it was possible. My life lately has been like a customer walks in, I make them their gelato, I do the cash machine.
Yeah.
Another customer comes in. Then there's like 4 customers in line. Then I'm supposed to make a pour over, which takes like 5 minutes. I have to stand there the whole time. But then there's more customers, and it's like my life has been like just moving things all the time.
Just a constant interruption.
Yeah, it's just yes, my life has been a constant interruption. Which is like great and it's fun, but it leads to me being terrible at texting people back, and I really am sorry about it.
I forgive you.
Thank you. Like you texted me last night and I saw it.
The point is that I made it here at about the time that we had anticipated.
I know, that's amazing.
I didn't get to do all the homework that I wanted to with all the podcasts and stuff,
but next time I think we'll be working together more in the future.
Yeah.
And I'll come visit you guys too. Anyways,
Sweet.
But yeah, I'm bad at responding to texts.
So. Like in terms of daily routines, so.
All right, so yeah, back to actually answering the question.
So I mean, this is an atypical period of your life right now, but when it's back onto more of a schedule, I guess maybe what does that look like?
So when I'm my most authentic form of my life, and like when I really feel like on it and like awake, which is kind of another concept because I feel like I'm in a fog a lot of the time when I'm not in the situation. But it's when I'm traveling. So let's talk about Mexico because I was there for a month and a half, and it kind of like, I got a routine there. So I'd wake up around, well, it depends. Mexico has a big nightlife, not that I was like out partying, but like people do things a lot at night, so I was up kind of late. So I'd wake up around like 9 or 10, and I would get all ready for the day. Actually, no, you know what I'd do? I would wake up and I would respond to like messages and stuff on like YouTube, and I'd kind of like scroll through and maybe upload Instagram, and then I would go and get all ready, and I would go and I would get breakfast in town, and I'd start vlogging around then, and then we would like at breakfast be like, all right, what are we doing today? We would either already have a plan from the day before, or we would figure out what we're doing, and then we would like probably go back to the house. I'm going really in detail. Go back to the house, like chill out a little bit, like get our stuff ready, get prepared. I would make sure all my cameras are charged, and I have my GoPro and all the stuff that I need. And then we'd go, and we'd usually go catch the Colectivo, which is the collective taxi bus thing they have there, and it has a different price depending on who you are and what you know the price should be.
Oh wow.
So if you're a tourist, they're like $5. Well, you know, which would be 100 peso.
Yep.
But in fact, you can get it for like 17 peso if you just say like no, like that's how much it is.
No way.
So or maybe 32 or something. Anyways, so we would get the Colectivo, and we'd probably like go down the coast a little bit, go to one of the beaches, sort of in between Playa del Carmen and Tulum, and I would go and film a little bit and go and explore, and then I did a lot of editing on beaches and like stuff like that. So I just feel like editing.
When you're editing outside, do you ever have the problem where you're trying to edit but you have a hard time seeing the screen because it's so bright?
Oh my god,
do you have a solution
terrible.
For that?
No, I haven't found one yet. It sucks.
My computer gets super hot from being in the sun.
My computer gets hot. Both my camera and my computer were covered in sand for like a month. Because I was doing everything on the beach, and I had like these really strange, like, not sunburns, I don't really get burnt very much, but really strange tans, because I'd be sitting in one place for a long time, so like half of my body that was near the sun would be like tan, and the other half wouldn't, and it was really visible. But yeah, so I would do that, and then we'd usually try to make it like an early night home, so we'd like go back around like 5 or 6, and go work for like an hour or so, and that was usually like I would go and upload in that time. I'd upload the day before's vlog.
Yep.
And then I would go and have dinner. And sometimes I uploaded while I was at dinner. Or after dinner. It depends. It just kind of depends on how it worked out planning-wise.
Do you have an average time that it takes you to edit?
Editing, I would say like 2 hours at least, or most. I don't know. It depends on the video. Wow. And I don't know. I could do it in an hour for some videos. Like the daily ones, I kind of start getting down to an hour or hour and a half. But I would usually do those after I got back at night. So I would kind of get back, we would go explore after dinner, kind of like be in like the after dinner haze. And then we would go back to the apartment and like my mom would go to sleep and I would just sit in the dark and edit for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Wow.
When I was in Paris, I edited until, because I was in the wrong time clock or whatever, I edited until 6 a.m. one morning and I was like, oh, I feel insane. So that's what I do. And
to answer the question for me, so during the school year, depending if I'm doing a sport, so I had tried to, once I started doing daily, I was recording, so I had been listening to either audiobooks or music in the morning, and instead was maybe listening to a little bit of an audiobook to spike, like thinking about what I wanted to share on that day, or I would just like think about my thoughts and emotions from the past 24 hours, and then I would talk about it, and then I'd arrive at school. Depending if there was something that I had to do at lunchtime, then I might upload to my computer, put on so I have a sort of a general, I now have like a procedure for the most part, so it's like if I'm not doing some kind of stupid sketch or something to catch the audience's attention, I'll try to find something interesting that I said that's like catchy or something, put that at the very front, put in my 9-second intro, put in the rest of the video, and then put in I'd use the same music every day for the daily share, and then I start cutting out the ums or the parts that are irrelevant or where I get off topic, and then I'm done. So I was trying to get that under, sometimes I'm able to do that in about 20 minutes, which I'm totally spoiled in that, but then again, my content is not nearly what yours is. So, and depending what I had after school, I would usually try to finish that, and I'd read that the best upload times are like 2 to 4-ish.
I've heard so many different things.
But I think depending on your demographic, thinking about what most of your demographic are doing, and if there's a certain region that they're at. So for me, a lot of mine are students, and apparently I just found out one of my most popular demographics is my age, 18 to 24.
Yeah.
So thinking about people are probably starting to slack off at work around like 4 to 6, or maybe they're after hours, and maybe that's when they watch. So I tried posting by 4, and that was logistically the best time I can promise for the most part.
Yeah.
About 4 o'clock.
Yeah, and I'll do it really succinctly, but my routine at home was a little bit different because after coming back from travel, I'm not gonna lie, I got a lot behind in school, and because I'd been in Europe for a month, I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my time in Europe like doing statistics, like I'm sorry. So, sorry to the math teacher in the room, but yeah, so I would wake up, I don't know, I really like the idea of waking up really early, and for a while I was doing that. I would go and work out I'd take a 6 a.m. class, I'd wake up at 5:30.
Nice.
But then I would just kind of, I wouldn't physically crash after, but I'd just be so tired after that I would just have to like sit and like stare at a screen for like 2 hours before I could do anything. And it was just kind of sad. So I started waking up a little bit later, probably around like 9. And then I would kind of just like, something I've learned I value a lot is like a slow, meaningful like morning routine. Like if I'm allowed, I mean, not that I always have the time, but when I do have the time to do that, it's like, it just like is pure heaven for me. So I just kind of like slowly wake up and like make myself breakfast, and like I would like sit down and I would like, while I was eating my breakfast, I would like watch really like amazing inspirational YouTubers that kind of like get me in the right headspace. Then what I started doing is going straight into doing like the statistics work and getting it all done like before 12 o'clock or like 1 o'clock, and then I would be free, or at least I had that intention. We'd try, and then after that, it's like YouTube for me, it's like, it's so enjoyable that just, actually, I heard this quote, I don't know who it was, I have no context for it, but it's like what you should be doing is the stuff that you do even if you're not, like, if you don't need to be doing it. I don't know. I'm like definitely paraphrasing.
I kind of get what
but
you're
it's
saying.
like for me, like
stuff you should be doing,
or like
is the stuff that you do.
The stuff that like
you
happens.
Don't need to be doing anything.
Yeah, it's like the stuff that kind of happens accidentally, and you know what it was? That was when I made mean of it. What it was the stuff that you like enjoy doing will happen, like, no matter what. So just like get the stuff done that you don't enjoy doing, because it's like, so I would get like the statistics done, I'd be done with that for the day, and then everything else would just fall into place. Like, so I would probably go film for a little bit, or like I do a lot of emailing. I'm like strangely obsessed with like creating projects and like trying to make things happen. So I would do that and do research, and then I would, you know, edit and upload and probably go on some adventures around here. So yeah, that was another morning routine or day routine.
Cool.
Anyways, that was really in detail, but like that's like the question I've always wanted to be asked. All right, he said, I have no Wi-Fi. I said, hey guys, sorry, I gotta go. Thanks for answering my questions. He said, remember, people change people.
Trying to say we're gonna change people?
People transform people.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna change you. I'm gonna transform you.
Hopefully.
Maybe.
Alright,
is there anything else?
That was all I had for
Beautiful.
the premeditated questions.
Premeditated. Oh my god, I just cracked my back.
So yeah, I think that's it. So I meant to like make a change, guys.
I meant like make a change.
Okay.
I thought you had to go. That was like a while ago. I saw that. Go get your work done, yo. Get your Wi-Fi. Thanks for joining us.
So yeah, thank you Noah and Jamal and Jermaine for joining us. It's been it's actually kind of fun. I was imagining coming here today that like it would be sweet having like 50 or 100 people watching, but it was actually more enjoyable not being overrun with comments, and like you can address the questions as it comes. So
yeah,
maybe we do stay on my channel so we don't have to handle the barrage of your starting.
Hey, I don't get that many. I get like maybe like, I think the most I've had is like 20 years.
Didn't you say you only did one live stream ever though?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was that time.
Okay. Well, next time.
Well, thank you for watching. So the thing I said.
How long have we been going for?
Over an hour probably, right?
Wait, 141 minutes?
Or is that an hour 41?
No, wait. 2 hours. You're the math teacher. Yeah, so it's an hour
100.
and hour.
Yeah, divide by 60, so that's 2 hours and 20 minutes. Because 120 would be 2 hours.
God.
So the thing I say at the end of all my videos is stay weird. So thank you for watching. If you liked it, give it a like. I imagine nobody will actually be watching this part by the time it's just like on YouTube, but
Stay weird!
yeah!
Woo!